Hey Jonas, Jonathan. Hey the Star Child. Why do meat lovers got the knife? What do vegans peel and chop their veggies with? Their teeth? Yeah, it's part of a bigger image. That's why they got the knife. It's because it was part of a bigger image where they just didn't have the knife. Hello everyone, we're in a slightly different place. Hey Richard Smith, nice to see you here. It's a bit more chill, there's not a lot of people. But we'll see if it works, and if not, we'll move back, because we normally sit somewhere here, next to the entrance. And yeah, we're changing it a little bit. Jake Lagatare, hey, hello. Hey, Jonas. Can you guys hear me okay, by the way? Hey, Martin, nice to see you. Pepe Sylvia. You guys want to try a social experiment? You want to try? I just ask you some questions, that's it. Hey, Jennifer Rooney. Can you guys confirm that the sound is okay? Audio is good. Hey, you want to try a social experiment?
What? I'm doing a social experience.
I just ask you some questions, that's it.
Why do you do this?
I think you'll understand if you do the social experiment. You want to try it?
Okay.
Are you okay being live from my YouTube channel?
Oh,
Yeah, I have to cover it because of the heat. Otherwise, it overheats. Sorry.
I'm sorry, my English is not so good.
It's okay. We can do our best if you want.
Okay, later. Okay, thank you.
Okay, what's your name?
You can call me Angela.
Okay, Angela, let me put it. Let me put you in view so that you're here. Angela, you said?
Sorry?
You said Angela.
Yeah, you can call me Angela, but my real name is Ji Hong Yang, but I'm afraid you can't remember it.
Jim Hon Yang. Jin Hon Yang.
Ji Hong Yang.
Jin Hon Yang. Where are you from?
I'm from China.
China. Nice. Love it. Okay, so how do you feel about animals?
Animal. I love them.
You love them.
Yeah.
So I know there's parts in China where they exploit and use dogs for food.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
I several years ago, I don't know why we can't eat dogs. But after I watched the movie, I don't know how to say it in English. Maybe a Japanese movie. I don't know. After that, and I won't eat it.
Okay, not dogs.
No, never. After that, in my province, there is a special nation. Do you know North Korea? It's near North Korea. There is an area. They are Korean.
Yeah,
Yeah, they eat dogs.
but you seem to not want to do it, right?
No,
Can I ask why?
I think dogs are the good friends of human beings. So I won't.
Okay.
That's
But that's something. That's a label that we put on them, right? They're good friends, right? It's not a reciprocate label, right? It's not like any dog that was born is automatically a good friend to a human, right?
Can you speak slowly?
Yeah, sure. So if a dog is born, are they automatically a friend of a human being, or do we have to befriend them?
I think they are friends of human being whenever uh, they were born.
But who decided that they're friends?
Sorry?
Who decided that they are friends?
Who decide? I think people.
People, right? Exactly. So regarding other animals like cows, chickens, and pigs, how do you see them?
Mm, sometimes we have to eat them, but I think if we how to say it, if we take them as a pet, we should be friends with them.
Why do we have to eat them at all?
That's that's too difficult. I don't know. We if we have other, sorry, I don't know how to say it.
Nutrition.
Nutrition. If we can get other nutrition, we don't need to eat them.
Exactly. So if we can get nutrition from plants,
Yeah,
then we don't need to eat them, right?
I think so.
And do you think that, given that we can get nutrition from plants,
Sorry?
and knowing that we can get nutrition from plants, do you think it's wrong to eat these animals?
No, I don't think it's wrong because it's the tradition of human being.
But wouldn't you say the same about dogs?
Dogs are different from others. But I know if a chicken, I see a chicken, someone lead them as a pet. They 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 are friends with the chicken.
Yeah.
I saw that a video.
Okay, so if they're friends with a chicken, then that chicken deserves to live.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
But if they're not friends with the chicken, then that
No.
chicken does not deserve to live.
Some chicken is specially bad for people, for human being. So what do you think? Do you think we people, human being, shouldn't eat any animal?
Yeah, I'm vegan. Do you know what being vegan means?
Vegan means you don't eat any meat, right?
It means I respect animals.
Oh, yeah.
And as a
I
consequence, of
understand.
course, I'm not gonna eat their flesh, yeah? Because I respect you, I'm not gonna kill you and chop you into pieces and eat you, right? Because I respect you. The same I would do for an animal. I would respect them. I wouldn't chop them into pieces and eat them. And considering that I don't need to, it just only makes sense, right?
Yeah, I understand.
You understand what I mean? Yeah, yeah.
I mean, in fact, I don't like eating meat too much. Just several times per week. Because if I don't eat some meat, I feel very hungry.
Well, you can eat a little bit more, right?
Yes, I can, but if I eat too much, my stomach feel uncomfortable. So
But who has it worse, you or the animals?
yeah, I understand you.
Which one is worse? A little bit of a stomach sensation,
Me.
or the animals who are chopped into pieces and have their throats cut?
uh, in fact, I didn't understand you well because my English.
Yeah, that's okay. That's
listening-
okay. I get it. I get it.
But I think if I can eat more plants, I won't eat animals. But but if all the human beings don't eat meat, I don't think it's possible.
I mean, it is. It seems impossible right now because very few people are actually doing it, but it is possible. Just like 200 years ago, the whole world had slavery, and you could have said it's impossible to make a world without slavery, but nowadays we have a world without slavery, you see? So if we fight for their rights, they will eventually get rights, yes.
Okay, I see. I
See what I mean?
understand.
Yeah. Let me give you a card because I feel like I would love to have more conversations with you. You seem like a compassionate person, but it's easier if I just give you a card. Scan this QR code and watch the minion.
Okay.
Okay?
I can read something
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the website.
Yeah. It's this one. The first video. It will be the
Oh.
minion. Okay?
Okay. Thank
I
you.
think it should appear in Chinese actually if you scan it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I will spread your thoughts.
Thank you. Do that. And think about it more because they deserve to live too, you know?
Yeah,
Okay?
I understand.
I appreciate you. Have a good one.
You too.
Chang
Ji Hong.
Ji Hong.
Yeah, you can call me Angela.
Angela Ji Hong. Ji
Yeah.
Hong. I love it. Okay.
Okay.
Have an awesome day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. I think we might need to move because of the music, and I don't want the stream to get, you know, tagged or something for copyright. So I'm gonna put the microphone like this. Like it's not easy to carry everything like this. But Ben says it's a total eclipse of the heart. Yeah, and I think we're gonna move to our usual spot, everybody. I'm sorry about this. I really wanted to go somewhere else, but I forgot that this place there's always somebody playing music and stuff. But at least now you can see a little bit of this beautiful square. There's a lot of people. I wanted to have a deeper conversation with that woman, but it was a little bit difficult because of the language barrier. And I feel like she got the resources. If she watches one of the videos, she might get a little more out of it. It's pretty warm outside, by the way, in the sun at least. Nice weather there, says Julia. Yes, very nice. Chip, are you in touch with Mel and Steve? No, Ben, I am not in. I mean, I know them. I go to their streams from time to time, and I have some conversations with them, but I'm not in touch as in we're doing something together or something like that. I think it's because we're in different countries that it's a bit difficult to do things together. Okay, we got to our place. Let me just set it up. My biceps is on fire from carrying that. Okay, let's set it up. Can you just... I need to cover the phone from the sun. Otherwise it overheats. Can you guys still hear me okay? Sound is good. Love it. Okay. We are all set up. Okay. Damn. I really kept that muscle tension for a while. Chip, if you had to pick downsides on being vegan, what would they be? Well, other people not being vegan is the only downside of being vegan. The fact that the whole world isn't vegan, that's the only downside. The fact that, you know, you're a little bit different always because you're not because you're vegan in a non-vegan world. Otherwise, no, it's easy to be vegan. It's fairly easy to respect animals. It's fairly easy to, if you're thinking about a plant-based diet, it's fairly easy to achieve. It's easy to not buy leather and stuff. Hey, you want to try a social experiment?
I will try.
Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Yes, okay. Sure.
What's your name?
Davide. Hello.
David, nice to
I'm
meet you.
from Italy.
From Italy, David.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, you already said. Okay. So let me ask you, David, how do you feel about animals?
Animals?
Yeah.
I think they should have the right treatment,
The right treatment. Okay.
but it's also important that is a consequence on us.
Yeah.
For example, like industrial, how do you say,
Farming.
farming, yes, has a consequence, then we will not eat food, like good quality food. So yes, I think they should have the right treatment because that has an impact on us.
So you think animals should be treated nicely because
Yes.
it impacts us?
Yes,
Do you think that animals deserve nice treatment on their own without our consideration? Like, do you think they deserve moral consideration? And by that I mean,
yes,
if our actions impact them, we should consider their well-being.
yes. I don't think there is a reason to treat them badly
Yeah.
because they did nothing wrong. So yeah.
So what is good treatment in your book?
Well, good treatment means, for example, no industrial farming.
What is bad treatment? Let me ask you this then.
Bad treatment being like hit or beaten up, and also
Is killing bad?
It depends because animals like we are the humans are the main are the most important.
Who says that?
Being well, I think we live in a society where humans are the most.
But who says that?
Me,
Humans.
humans, yes,
So of course humans are going to say that humans
Yeah.
are the most important, right?
yes, they're most evoluted. You say that?
Well, we're not the most evolved, no.
No.
Every animal evolved along the same lines as us.
Okay.
If they're on the same planet as us, they evolved along the same time as us.
Okay.
They just
yeah.
evolved different characteristics.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And but I think like as humans, I think we should be able to eat meat because we dominate on other animals.
So we have power to kill animals, therefore we should do it.
I don't mean we should do it, but I'm not against like for example vegan people, but I think that animals, if people are in need of food, there is I think they can kill animals because I think we have the powers on other animals, like we can control them.
But if there is no need, would killing an animal be fair?
It depends. For example, I eat meat because I like meat,
Not because you need it.
not because I need it. Yes.
So is it fair for you to pay for an animal to get killed for something that you like? And is that good treatment in your view?
It depends how the animal is killed. Like in Italy, where I live, There are lots of
Describe the way that is nice. That is nice to kill an animal.
well, in where I live, it's near Milan, but in the countryside. They're not killed like they're killed using good methods. They're treated nicely when they live, and then they are killed.
Describe
I
it.
think with I believe with tranquilizers,
Okay.
and so they don't feel pain. But
And then they're chopped into pieces.
yes,
And that is nice to you.
I think well because humans eat meat.
Is that nice to you?
It's nice because I'm eating nice. I'm eating things that are not bad for me because
So wait, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Because you say it's nice to you.
yes.
And thank you for saying that. What if, considering that you think it's nice, I do exactly the same thing to you, and then I eat your meat? Since you say it's nice anyway, right? You would consider it a good thing if I did
I
it to you
don't
because you
think
think it's
I
nice,
don't
right?
think animals like pigs and cows and sheep are on the same level as
Does it?
humans.
Does the species of the victim matter? If you say it's nice, it's nice. Do you
I
think
think
it's
the
nice?
species matters.
Why? Why is it that? Why is it that you think for a cow it's nice to get a tranquilizer and getting killed, whereas for a human, no, it's completely opposite. It's horrible. Do you think that a cow does not have an instinct that they want to live, just like a human does?
They have, but
So they do want to live,
they have an instinct to live and to
just like us.
yes, and to reproduce themselves, like
Just like us.
just like us.
Yeah.
But as humans, we evolved eating other animals, as other animals do kill
Well, we
other
as humans,
animals.
we evolved doing horrible things throughout our history, right? Like
Yes.
we had the dark ages where we
Yes.
stoned women because we thought they were smart and we thought they were witches because they were
Yes.
smart. Should we continue doing that just because we've been doing it
No.
throughout our history? It's because it's part
No.
of our history.
But eating,
So then, why would eating meat be one of those things which we should continue doing because it's part of our history?
it's complicated. I recently watched debates about this, and my point of view is that we dominate on other animals. So
So we have the right to do whatever we want to them because we have power over them.
we have the right to use them as sources.
Because we have power over them.
Yes.
So if I have power over you, I can kill you exactly as you said that a cow is nicely to be killed.
Because
Because I have power over you.
but I believe humans are on the same
Again,
level.
it doesn't really matter what the victim is, right? Because you may claim that the victim's species matter, but then some people will claim that the victim's race matter. The victim's phenotypes don't really matter, do they? What matters is the fact that they can feel, they can emote, that they have a subjective experience of the world, and that they don't want to die. Does it really matter who they were born as? Like if you were born as a different species, because I don't even know, maybe you look like human, but somehow you're so different genetically that you're no longer human.
Well,
Could I kill you? Because I would have power over
For
you?
example, if there's an ant on the street and someone kills the ant,
Intentionally.
yes, that is. I think
That is very bad.
that is very different from killing a cow to eat it and killing.
Not to the ant, not to the cow.
I think it's different. Killing an ant is like killing a cow. I think is much more bad than killing an insect, and killing, for example, a dog. Like in Italy, dogs are.
What is the difference between a dog and a cow that you think justifies the difference in treatment? Like, what is the
that
trait
dogs
difference?
are.
No, the trait difference. Not the qualifier that you place on them.
Yes.
Not what you value you place on them, but
Yes.
what trait do they have different? Like, what is it that they're so different that justifies killing them for optional products?
The dogs are. In our evolution, dogs have become pets. In
That's not a
Italy,
trait.
And
That's not a
sorry,
trait.
what do you mean by trait?
Trait is like hair color, eye
Ah.
color, way they walk, phenotypes.
No.
Characteristics coming from their DNA
The
or environment.
the cows in European culture, in this like Amsterdam and Italy and this, cows are seen as a food source.
But that doesn't matter because if I say people with orange hair
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you do
Yeah.
should be exploited and killed, does that mean it's okay? Because
That's,
I see you as a source for my food.
That,
Does it matter, or shouldn't I at least consider your perspective?
Yes, but I have the.
So why is it that you don't consider the cow's perspective, but you consider the dog's perspective? They're both animals. They're both not
Because
humans.
me personally, I don't want to kill dogs, but
Why?
because I see dogs as pets, and I see cows. If I see a cow, like
So your value in your worldview, you think we should derive value based on how we place value on others, right? So again, if I place value on you as you, I don't care about you, and I have
Yes.
power over you, therefore I could be killing you and eating you because I
But-
have power over you and I don't care about you.
but here by law you can do that.
Well, let's say I can evade the law. It's not about the law,
Okay.
the law side of it.
Oh,
It's
they're
not about the
telling me
legal
to-
side of
okay,
it.
I need to wrap this up because they're telling me
I'm
to.
curious about the
Yeah, yeah.
morality side of it. Do you think it's moral for somebody to, because they have power over somebody else, that they can exploit and kill them just because they have power over them? And just because they said, well, your purpose is what I say it is?
I think it depends by like how things go. Like seeing cows are like you can't see like tomorrow I can't wake up and see humans as a food. But
But again, you have to stop focusing on yourself. You have to focus a little bit on the victims of your
Yes.
choices. If you think from the perspective of a cow, is there a difference from their perspective versus the perspective of a dog?
it's a big debate, and they're telling me to wrap this up.
But what is that difference from their perspective? Not from your perspective, from their perspective.
Their perspective, dogs, as I said, dogs are pets.
That's your perspective.
They're more.
That's your perspective.
Then I don't know.
So you don't know. So if somebody is born a dog, do you think they deserve love? But if they're born a cow,
No,
you
no,
think they
every-
deserve a knife to the throat?
No.
Well, that's what you're saying. Because you have
So-
power over
some,
both.
Some humans eat cows, some humans eat dogs, some humans eat insects.
Yeah,
It's
so you
based
think it's
on-
moral for us as people, because we have power over others, that we can do whatever we want to animals? Because we have power
It's not
over them.
moral, but we
So it's not moral then
we
to
grew
eat
up
meat.
thinking this.
Fair enough. So then it's moral. It's not moral to eat meat.
It's the moral is that eating meat should not be like a sin. I don't know how to explain.
So it should be immoral. Is it moral or not to eat meat?
To eat meat, they're telling me to go. More, I think it's moral if you do it in the right way.
So if in that right way, it would be moral if I did it to you.
They're telling me to go.
Is it moral if I do the same thing to you? If I kill you the same way that you
no,
think it's the right
because
way?
we're both humans.
So is that the only, because that logically doesn't follow. I hope you understand that. It doesn't really matter what the species, the race, what the characteristics, what the category that individual belongs to. What matters is the fact that that's an individual who wants to live and doesn't want to get exploited. You seem to think that if you were born in a different way, their life shouldn't matter. They should be disregarded. That's what you're saying. And because you have power over them, that gives you the right to
I
exploit
can
and
pass
do-
the turn to other people because
Yeah.
I.
Let me give you a card. Watch the minion, okay?
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
cheers.
It was
Have a good
very
night.
nice to have this
Yeah.
debate. Goodbye.
Hi, sir.
Hi. Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Yeah, that's me. Hi.
Okay, so we're discussing.
Can we do two or one only?
It's okay. I'm with both of you. So we're discussing animal ethics. How do you guys feel about animals?
Good, of course.
Say it again.
I like animals.
You like
Yeah.
animals?
Yes.
Why do you like animals?
Because, for example, if you have a pet, it can make you feel happy and.
For
when you come
example,
home,
dogs. When
Yeah.
you see a dog, it actually releases dopamine in you, like in your brain.
So you only like animals for what they can give to you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Do you think animals have moral value?
Of course. Everybody has moral value. I
Okay.
think.
What if they cannot give anything to you? Do they still have moral value?
No.
No?
No.
So I have no moral value because I can't give anything to you.
Well, I mean, you can speak to me, so you're giving me more value. You're giving me more value for being on this
So wait,
life.
a person who cannot speak wouldn't have moral value to you because they couldn't give anything to you?
Well, of course, if you could see me,
What if they can't see you?
you can touch me.
Say it again.
If you can touch me.
What if they can't touch you? There's a person somewhere in Africa right now.
Yeah.
Do they have moral value? They can't see
course.
you, touch you, feel you, anything.
Well, of course, they probably give more value to probably someone else.
Why? What kind of moral value do they have?
They might be helping their father or something. Maybe they're sick. Maybe they're helping put.
They
food
have
on
no
the-
family whatsoever. No connection with anybody else.
Bro, come on, bro.
I'm trying to understand.
Okay.
Do they still
they
have
are
moral
still
value?
living their own life. So
Yeah.
if,
Exactly.
so
They're
if-
giving
he
their
gets
own
it.
moral value.
Exactly. They have their own moral value, right? They
Yeah.
value their own life, right?
Yeah.
Do you think this applies to animals also?
Of course.
Animals value their own life, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Love it. Okay, so what about the animals that we usually consider? The chickens, the pigs, the cows.
Well, I actually used to have a pet pig and a pet chicken, and my grandfather used to own a farm. So I've always they always give me more value. So yeah,
So do you think they value their own life?
Probably.
probably not my chickens. You know, they really they killed themselves.
They kill themselves. How
Yeah.
did they kill themselves?
They found like a rock and it fell on them because
So they accidentally fell.
no, they were hitting it every day and waiting until it fell.
Yeah, but they didn't realize what they were doing, did they? Just like a child, they probably wouldn't realize what they're doing.
Well, we wouldn't know that for exactly. We can't read chickens' minds or speak
Fair
to them.
enough. But do you think a chicken wants to die?
Some do, maybe some
Probably
don't.
not, but I think they have their own life, but they're not as smart as we are.
Yeah.
So, for example, if I die tomorrow, I think it's not the same as if an animal died tomorrow.
Because they're not as smart.
Yes.
But if we find a human being whose level of cognitive abilities is that of an animal,
He would
I
probably
think-
die.
But I think it's also, I don't think any animals are loved as much as humans are. So, for example, if you have a very dumb person, but his mom and dad still loves him, but in animal world it's not the same.
well, we give them value. But we've already acknowledged that they have moral value on their own, right?
Yeah.
And we give them value. Do you think we give value to chickens, cows, and pigs? Given that we exploit and slaughter them for optional products?
I don't think we give them
Some people do, some people don't. That's how the world is. It's always 50-50. There's nothing really you can do about it.
Which are the people who do and which are the people who don't?
There are people like my grandfather. He used to own the farm. He loved the animals. We never ate them really until they grew old, and all that. Then we ate them because they just died. Naturally.
Just like you would do with dogs.
Yeah. Well, not eat them.
Wait, why not? They died naturally.
I don't think it tastes as good.
Yeah. I don't know.
There you
I've
go.
never tasted a dog.
Anyway, yeah, go on.
So, and he would never really ever try to kill them. He loved them more. He loved them super much. He would always take care of them. The cow actually, my grandfather passed away before the cow, and the cow was just sitting there running away. And I probably think the cow's dead now because my grandfather's not there to take care of it. He died last year in October,
Yeah.
so that cow is probably dead now.
So those are the people who you say give value to animals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and vegetarians.
And, well, vegetarians don't give value to animals because they
Yeah.
still exploit animals.
How?
Well, dairy products exploit animals.
Uh,
Eggs exploit animals.
No, I'm talking about the vegetarians that don't drink milk. They drink oat milk and all that. But oat milk is
So vegans.
Yeah, vegans.
Vegan, yeah.
Yeah, vegans respect animals indeed. Yeah. Do you guys respect animals?
Yes.
Of course.
Are you vegan?
No.
So then how do you respect animals?
Because, for example, a chicken can live a great life and be feeded every day and have a very great life and a big space, and then
It's
get
natural.
killed.
As a
But-
baby.
What?
As a baby.
No, not as a baby.
Yeah. Well, do you know how long chickens can live?
No.
10 years. Do you know how long they're killed, what age they're killed at?
6.
6 years, you said?
Yeah.
No, 42 days.
What?
They're killed as babies.
That's not okay. I think maybe wait a bit longer.
Well, when you buy food from an animal, from a supermarket, from a
Oh, yeah,
butchery,
but
from
such
everywhere else, that's what you're paying for. Chickens killed at babies. But I don't know, let's say they're killed at 6 years old, right? That's half their life. How old are you now?
15.
15. Would it be okay for somebody to kill you when you reach the age of 30 or 40 because they think your meat
I
would
don't
taste
think
good?
so. But maybe kill them when they're 9.
Well, why kill them at all if you don't need to?
You need them.
Well, you don't need to consume animal products.
Well, you actually need to consume protein because half of your
Do
body.
you think you get protein from other sources?
Yes, but it don't taste as good.
Yeah.
But for example,
So it's about taste, not about nutrition.
Yeah, pretty much.
yes. But
Yeah.
also.
So
but
wait,
also
when it
in-
comes to
in-
taste, do you think that your sensory pleasure, taste, is worth more than an animal's life?
Yeah.
Your 10 minutes of pleasure is worth more than a life?
10 minutes. I eat a burger under 3. So
Yeah,
3
so
minutes
3
of
minutes
pleasure.
of pleasure is worth more than their life.
No.
Pretty much, yeah.
So you would find it moral if somebody did that to you, because their 10 minutes of pleasure or their 3 minutes of pleasure would be worth more than your life, since you apply this logic, right?
Yeah,
in,
pretty
in,
much.
in normal order, when animals were born and all that, they were killed by the bigger animals. So there's like a hierarchy, if you can say that.
Kom maar, jag var
Yeah.
sterk spist in the cooling.
Yeah, but we don't need to kill any animals, do we?
Jobbar nog för stort dansk thing live.
What?
I said, I hope someone can understand. I wish you could understand Danish.
I don't understand Danish now, but like I'm just trying to understand, like, because you say you wouldn't kill dogs for food, right?
No?
But
Well,
you would
I mean,
kill
some people do.
cows and chickens.
Yeah.
So what exactly, in your view, is the difference between dogs and cows that justifies the difference in treatment?
Not cows maybe, but some other, for example, fish. Fishes are not as smart as dogs are.
But
So-
you eat cows, right?
What?
You eat cows.
Yes.
So what's the difference between cows and dogs?
There's more protein.
I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah,
Probably tastes better. I don't know.
I also don't think so.
Have you ate it?
So you literally don't care about animals, really?
No, I don't. I care about animals.
How can
But-
you care about animals if you literally say that your 3 minutes of taste pleasure
I
is
did,
valid?
I did not say that. I said,
No,
I said
your
no.
friend did
I
that.
said
How,
no.
how do you feel? You said no,
I
right?
said no.
Yeah. So then.
Because if you kill the animals, like I said, when they're 9 years old, or right before they die, or like in the farm when they die naturally, and then you eat the meat, then I think it's okay because they are already dead.
If an animal dies and you want to eat them, if a human being dies and you want to eat them, my problem is not. I don't have a problem. I have a problem with you killing a human or with you
Yes.
killing an animal, right?
I also got a problem if you said like 42 days. I don't think that's.
Yeah. I don't
Well, that's realistic. Yeah, that's 42 days up to 2 months. That's the best case scenario.
That's
2
very,
months.
very, very fast. So
Yeah, because they grow fast.
yeah,
They,
wait some years.
they selectively bred them to grow super fast and then they kill them
Yeah,
fast.
but I would much rather live in like maybe 6 years in a great space. I got much space and I eat a lot, rather than living 9 years and then don't have any food. I'm being stressed. I in a very small space. So I also think that hvad hedder det?
I stopped that kick nu.
Hvad hedder det der? Sådan ens miljø.
But this
You
is
know,
a,
in his own like space, you know.
yeah, but this is a false dichotomy, right? Because you don't really have only these two options. The reality, you have an option to not exploit animals or to exploit animals.
Are you a vegan?
Yeah,
Are you a vegan?
yeah.
How can
Yeah.
you sit? How long have you been here?
I don't know, just started. Not long.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say like I'm already tired of standing and you don't have a chair.
Yeah, well, I'm vegan. I have power, you see. Because I'm vegan, I'm superior to you.
Well, I
Both in intellect and apparently in power. So therefore, I
In
should be able.
intellect?
Well, I understand what veganism is. You don't. So therefore, I am intellectually superior. So therefore, I should be able to cut your throat and chop you into pieces. Because according to your own logic, if somebody has power or intellectual power over somebody else, they should be allowed to kill them and eat them, right?
No, but let's say
well,
humans.
not really because I'm a Christian too. You know.
I'm not a Christian, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. But like in my Bible, it says, "Do not judge anybody," or for the intellect, nobody.
Does it say do not kill humans?
Of course it does.
No, it says do not kill.
Yeah, do not kill. But maybe if they're doing some, like let's talk about if you were gay. In the Old Testament, it says, "Thou shalt man shall be stoned." So it just does say you should kill. So
In
you
the
know?
Old Testament, it also says that the Garden of Eden, the perfect place that God created, there were no animals to be eaten, but rather just fruits and plants.
Yeah.
So, do you think that God, a compassionate God, would make animals, would give animals the capability to suffer?
Oh, we need to go now.
We need
Okay,
to go.
1 minute. Okay,
No,
1
no, no,
minute.
no, because our bus goes in 30 seconds.
Okay, okay,
Okay,
okay. Let me
but-
give you a card before you
Okay,
go.
yes.
Just
But thank you so much. This
watch
was,
watch the minion. Okay, I'll
this-
give you also a card, but
this was
watch
a-
the minion. Don't be trolled. Don't be trolling, man. Animals deserve moral consideration. If you were in their shoes and somebody were cutting your throat, you wouldn't be.
My bad.
And please don't
I
litter.
swear I didn't.
But it was a great social experiment. It was a great talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're nice. Have a great day.
Those were not good conversations. Somebody said, "We don't eat dogs or cats," and then performs in saying a completely racist thing. No. Listen, the reason why we don't eat dogs or cats is because as a society, we have created this value system where we give value to the cats and the dogs, where we say dogs deserve moral consideration, cats deserve moral consideration, because all of us in the society have noticed that they are individuals, that they deserve moral consideration. That's why we don't eat them. Because you know what? There's societies where they still do that, and yet a lot of people. Somebody said reported this channel. Thank you. I hope you reported it for awesome content. Because there's societies who consume dogs, right? As I think we just started now speaking about it. Like there's regions in China where they do consume dogs, and it's not because they think of dogs they do think of dogs in a different way. They think of dogs just like you think of cows, chickens, and pigs. So knowing this, you should probably understand that this is an arbitrary line that each society picks and chooses. And then if you think from the perspective of the individual, the animal, it doesn't really matter, does it? It doesn't, all this this arbitrary line that we create in the sand, that we're like, well, this species, you deserve to be killed, this species, it doesn't really matter. And you know what the reason is that all of you here in this chat who are not vegan, do you know why all of you think that it's okay to kill cows, chickens, and pigs? The only reason why you think it's okay to kill cow, chickens, and pigs is because animal agriculture has been duping you, because they pay large sums of money to get you to think that way, because they want you to think that way, because they want you to buy their products. You are literally buying into their whole bullshit. Don't trust me? Look it up. They have conferences every year where they discuss how can we sell this to people who claim they love animals. They literally have this at conferences. So yeah, if you think you love animals, can you really love them and exploit and kill them for something you don't need? I don't think so. But see, that's where the cognitive dissonance sets in for most people, because you cannot possibly understand the idea of intrinsic value, or some people have issues understanding this idea of intrinsic value, that certain individuals have intrinsic value, that they value their own life just as much as you value your own life. That's the reality. Somebody said soy boy, bro. Thank you so much. That's a huge compliment. I appreciate it. I am a soy boy, yes. How is the meat industry decreasing the habitats? Well, the meat industry is responsible for the most deforestation, habitat destruction, water usage, and everything. Well, not just the meat, the whole animal agriculture, because when we exploit animals, we have to feed them. And when we feed them at least half their diet is foods that we could have already eaten ourselves, like soy, like corn, and that usually adds up to even half the calories, half the soy, even half the energy that they get would be enough to feed us more than the energy that we would get from killing that animal or exploiting that animal. So yeah, it's highly inefficient, of course, and that obviously leads to a lot of deforestation, a lot of habitat loss, a lot of water usage. But this isn't about that, right? We don't really, we care about the environment. We're not here to speak about the environment. The reason why you should stop exploiting animals isn't for the environment. It's not, you know. The reason why I would, imagine somebody saying, well, I'm going to kill people for the environment. Obviously, it would be good for the environment to kill people, but you don't do it because, you know what? Before you consider the environment, you consider your own moral values. You consider your value system. You consider, would this be moral to do or not? So when it comes to killing people, yes, it would be good for the environment, but it would be really bad for your moral value system, so you wouldn't do it. It's the same thing about exploiting animals. You should think about your own moral value system. Is it really okay to exploit and slaughter innocent animals for optional products? And I know some of you will say, well, yes, it is because I like meat or whatever. Well, think about it. What if it wasn't meat? What if it was any other kind of product? Would it be okay? What is it so special that if you put something in your mouth hole, all of a sudden it has a special qualifier that deems it that you can do whatever you want to anybody so that you can put their flesh in your mouth hole? Think about it. Hey Chep, not sure why you are always saying you had bad conversation if the people don't get your point. You tried your best and they don't get it. It's still great conversation. Yeah, Krunal, that's true. But the reason why how I qualify conversations is basically when they can kind of go, they're not structured enough. When the conversations are not structured enough, that's not a conversation that I deem as good.
What's your experiment?
I just ask people some questions and I get them to think a little bit. You want to try it?
Sure.
Yeah. Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Do what?
Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Of course.
Can you come here then? What's
Yeah.
your name?
Harry.
Harry. Nice to meet you, Harry. Where are you from? I guess
Well, my name is Santon,
Santon.
and there's a name in Holland called Zanten.
Yeah.
So my family comes from there. But right now they have emigrated to the United States, and that's where I live,
Oh, nice. Where in the United States?
in Ohio.
Ohio. I was gonna say North Carolina because I saw a hat of North Carolina, but you
That
said Ohio.
comes from a friend. That's good
Okay.
fishing down there. Yeah.
Okay. So, how do you feel about animals, Harry?
About animals,
Yeah.
I'm afraid of wild ones and love them.
You're afraid of wild animals and love them. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think animals deserve?
I want to go and find our family.
I'll go with you. Never mind.
You'll go to.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. No worries.
Sorry.
Sometimes they leave. Can't keep them. Hey, David. You want to try a social experiment? Somebody said we love meat. You know, let's see what your name is. Never wrong. Never wrong. Can you consider for a second the victims of your choices? Would you consume meat if it came from exploited or slaughtered dogs? Would you still love the meat of exploited and slaughtered dogs? If you guys don't want to eat meat, don't eat meat. Leave people alone, bro. Listen, it's not about what you eat. It's not about what you wear. It's about the fact that when you're consuming animal products, when you're buying animal products, you're paying for an innocent animal to have their throats cut. If you want to eat meat, eat plant-based meat. I don't care what you eat. I just care that you don't exploit innocent sentient beings. I care about the animals. That's why we're here. We're here to show, to speak on behalf of the animals. You know, and if you think you care about animals, maybe you shouldn't be cutting them into pieces, cutting their throat, chopping them into pieces and putting them on your plate just because you can. I'm just saying. That's not really caring or respectful. Exactly, Erwin. Respect animals, go vegan. Yeah, if you think eating meat is just a personal choice, you are forgetting someone. That's very true. Eating meat is not a personal choice. It's not. Eating meat is literally a choice that involves another sentient being that was cut into pieces. Hey, I'm just getting people questioning them their ethics a little bit. You want to try? Sure. Are you okay being live on my YouTube channel?
Yeah,
What's your name?
Mike.
Mike, nice to meet you. I'm Chip. So, Mike, how do you feel about animals?
I like them.
You like them?
Guess I'm fond of them.
Do you think animals deserve moral consideration? And by that I mean, if our actions impact them, then we should consider their well-being.
If maybe only the actions that are only to make them suffer. For example, if we eat them, there's like an advantage, a benefit we are getting from them.
So that was my next question. Do you think if we get benefit from it, do you think we should be allowed to do whatever we want to animals?
between a range. For example, we shouldn't make them suffer because I don't think there's a need for them to suffer.
But there's no need to kill them also. So why wouldn't we make them suffer then?
I mean, for example, how many people do you see here?
I don't know.
Probably 1,000, probably more. Let's say 1,000. How would you feel 1,000 people?
Plants
without
and plant-based products.
Is it factible?
Say it again.
Like feasible? Like,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
can it be done without this? If you kill, how many animals?
It takes
do you think?
It takes 6 times more land to make 1 gram of animal protein versus 1 gram of plant protein.
And how much water?
Say it again.
How much water? I
Obviously
actually
less
don't
if it takes
know
6 times more.
anything.
Obviously less.
So-
But environmentally speaking, it's obviously monumentally better to be plant-based and not consume animal products.
That's
Well, let's take it out of the equation for a bit because it's not about the environment. It's about these sentient beings, right? Do you think you said they have moral consideration unless you get benefit from it? Do you think that if you get benefit from killing animals, then we shouldn't give them moral consideration?
For example, I don't feel that, let's say, you kill a cow and you eat a cow or a pig or chicken. That's different than killing, for example, a dog that you are not eating.
Then killing a dog?
Yeah, for example.
What if I eat them?
I don't think you wouldn't get like the same.
I would.
Why would you kill a dog
Why would you kill a cow?
to eat them? But why would you kill a dog to eat him or it?
For the same reason I would kill a cow to eat them or it.
But how many people would a cow feed?
How many people? Why does that matter?
Because a dog, let's say, how
Well,
much
compare it
of
to a chicken.
cow-
There you go. If you compare it to a chicken,
A
a
chicken.
dog could feed more people than a chicken could. Yet you still kill a chicken for food, don't you?
But
That
the
that
chicken
doesn't
is
matter.
easier to grow.
Is that really what matters? I'm just trying to understand. Do you think that these animals have no value on their own? Do you think that we can do literally? You said do not torture them, and I'm wondering why not torture them, since you think it's okay to take their whole existence for a sandwich, for an optional sandwich. I'll give you that.
I don't really think you have a point. I think you get on a very closed position.
What is my close position?
That eating meat.
No. I've never
but
mentioned
like,
eating
or
meat.
like killing animals.
No, I
for-
only mentioned animals. Yeah.
Yeah.
That animals deserve moral
Killing
consideration.
animals for like eating is.
No. I think killing
it isn't
animals
the
for any
same
reason is wrong.
For any reason.
Well, let me ask you this: would you kill animals for to wear their flesh, to wear their skin?
I would.
You would?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, so you basically have no limits. You don't really respect animals.
I mean, you are giving the carcasses a purpose. Because let's say you kill a crocodile.
So if I kill you and wear your skin, I'm giving your carcass a purpose. Therefore, I'm
I
respecting
am a moral
you.
person. I think I.
Oh, but
process, I have a conscience.
if you had a concussion or a head injury and you can no longer think, then I have the right to exploit and kill you.
But if I have a concussion or let's say I
You have a head injury and you can no longer think again. You'll always be with the same intellectual capacity that an animal has, which is kind of like a 3-year-old
But-
human child.
I actually have to go, but that's a very good point.
So should I be
Downgrade
able to
myself.
allow you to kill you? And
Not because at the end I would still be a human being. And
so wait,
I-
what is this qualifier? You being a human being, you think you have more moral worth on the account that you are born a certain species?
There was a guy that I don't remember. He was a philosopher that the man is like the only quadruped, I think, animal, but I'm featherless. So
The only
let's say-
animal who walks on 2 legs?
yeah,
So that's why? No, well, there's other animals who walk on 2 legs. Chickens have 2 legs and they
Chicken.
walk on 2 legs.
but they have feathers.
They have it. So that obviously means you should cut their throat.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
No. You don't deserve it. Wow. Such ridiculousness. I guess today is gonna be one of those days where we have these ridiculous arguments with people. That's okay. I think I'm gonna try a different experiment today. Let's see if we can salvage this. Somebody says kid was right. What was he right about? the fact that we can exploit and slaughter innocent sentient beings because we have power over them, or about the fact that if he was to have the intellect of an animal, we could do whatever we want to him because, you know, that's where his values lie. You know, the people who say that that guy was right are the people who cannot actually think logically, but they're just, oh yeah, this person is saying exactly the same arguments that I'm saying. So I'll ask you this, people. What is the morally significant difference between a human being and an animal? Well, we all are animals also. That justifies killing one for optional products but not the other. I'll ask again, what is the morally significant difference between a human being and an animal that justifies cutting the throat of one for optional products but not the other? I'm still waiting on an answer since you guys seem to think there is a difference. You should have no problem mentioning that difference. Do animals form families? Yes. Out of love for watching their children grow up? Yes. Animals definitely do that. Animals, it's an instinct. You think it's a logical thing to form families? It's an instinct. Yeah, I see no logical argument here, there in the chat, and that's okay. You know, if you cannot think logically or critically, that's okay. You don't have to. At least listen. If you're incapable of thinking logically or critically. Oh, by the way, by your own admission, by how so many people consider that if you have higher intellect, well, I can think logically and critically. Therefore, theoretically, I have higher intellect. Should I be able to oppress you guys?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Yes, you can.
Can you come close here so that
You speak French or?
No, English
nothing?
only.
English?
Yeah.
Me, I speak a little English.
What's your name?
Adam.
Adam.
And you, what's your name?
Chip.
Chip.
Okay, so
Nice
Adam,
to meet you, Chip.
I'll dive right into it. Do you think it's okay to oppress animals?
No, it's not okay.
Oppress means being cruel or unjust towards them.
I don't understand
Are you okay with cruelty towards animals?
No, I'm not okay with that.
Okay. Do you consume animal products?
Yes.
Do you think there's cruelty involved in animal products?
A little.
A little? Do you think bringing to life an animal for the sole purpose of killing them is not cruel to them?
Yes, it's cruel.
And that's in all animal products, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
So can you be against cruelty to animals while at the same time paying for cruelty to animals?
I don't understand.
So you say you're against cruelty to animals, right?
Yes.
But then you go into a supermarket and you pay for cruelty to animals.
Yes.
Is that not a contradiction?
Yes, it's a contradiction, a little contradiction. But life is like that. You cannot do something. You can. I don't know how I can tell you that, but.
Well, you can choose differently, can't you? Is anybody forcing you to consume animal products?
I don't understand very well this word.
Is anybody forcing you
Yes.
to eat something?
No. Nobody forcing me.
So you choose.
Yeah, it's my choice.
So your choice
Yeah, it's my choice.
of being cruel to animals.
Yeah.
Do you think you cannot choose otherwise?
No, I think I cannot choose other way
Why not?
because I love eat animal products.
So your love of animal products
Yes.
trumps animal cruelty. It's more important than the cruelty that these animals go through.
Yes, but
Is it?
yeah, is it? I don't know.
So 10 minutes, what is it? How long does it take you to eat a meal?
I don't know.
10 minutes, something like that for
Yeah,
you?
something like that.
A whole life for them? And you think that's
Yes.
fair?
Yes.
That,
whole life.
that's fair?
Yeah, that's fair. I don't understand very well, but I trust you.
Is it fair? Is it just? Is it okay?
No, it's not just, but life is like that.
Well, life is like that sometimes unfair, unjust things happen. But we don't go directly to them and do perform unfair or unjust things, right?
Yes.
But you seem to be making the choices to do unfair or unjust things, right?
Yes, it's my choice.
Yeah. So I don't care what you did in the past, but in the future,
Yes.
do you think is there any way you can justify saying you're against animal cruelty while at the same time being cruel to animals?
I don't understand very well.
So going in the future,
Yes.
if you're going to buy an animal product, you are going to be cruel to an animal. Agree?
Yes.
Is there any way that you can say I'm against animal cruelty if you're cruel to an animal?
I don't understand very well. Can you tell me by another way?
Can you still make? You said you're against animal cruelty.
Yes.
Can you still be against? Let me put it this way. If I say I respect women, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If I go around beating women, do I respect women?
No.
But I say I do.
Yes.
And which one's more important, what I say or what I do?
Well, what to do? What you do?
So if you say you are against cruelty of animals,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
but you support cruelty of animals,
I don't support this, but
well, you pay for it,
yeah, I pay for it.
so you do support it.
Yes.
So which one is more important? What you say
Support.
or what you do? What you do?
What I do.
Yeah. So then you're not against cruelty to animals.
Yes. A little.
But do you want to be against cruelty to animals?
No, I don't want to be.
You don't want to be?
No, I don't know.
Why? Why is it that you think these animals don't deserve even the bare minimum of not killing them for something you don't need?
I don't know because in my every life I do that. I think I cannot change now. You know.
What do you mean you cannot change? Why not?
I don't know because it's like that. I don't know why, but it's like for me it's like that.
So let's say tomorrow you find out that wearing white gives you cancer. Can you change that?
Yes, I can change that.
Okay. So say you find out tomorrow that eating animal products gives you cancer. Can you change that?
Yes, I can change that.
So if it comes to your life, you can change it. But if it comes to hundreds and thousands of animals' lives, you cannot do it.
Yes, I think.
Yeah. And does that, do you think that's okay to do, to say, to do? Is that an okay attitude to have towards innocent sentient beings?
For me, in my life, it's okay, but I know it's not normally.
What if somebody applied the same logic to you?
I don't understand very well.
Somebody has power over you,
Mm-hmm.
they can exploit you and kill you.
Yes.
And they get pleasure from doing it. Like they get taste pleasure. They like the taste of your meat. Would it be fair for them to do that to you?
No, but I think human it's not like an animal.
We are animals, yes. We're mammals. We're animals.
Yes, but it's not very the same things.
What is the difference?
We are, for me, we are conscious. I don't know I can tell you, but
We can give consent.
yes.
Not all human beings can give consent, right?
Yes, I know, but
Like babies cannot give consent.
yes.
Should we be killing and eating babies?
No, it's not good.
Why not? Maybe the meat is very good.
I don't know.
Should we be killing or eating human beings who are intellectually challenged, who cannot give consent?
I don't understand very well.
So human beings who have the cognitive abilities of an animal, should we be killing them?
No,
No?
no.
Why? So why?
Because it's not normal to kill people.
But that being normal or not, it just means everybody does it or not, right?
Yes.
Do you think that matters?
Yes, it's my little man.
So then if we come back 100 or 200 years ago during slavery times, it was normal to have slaves.
What's slaves? I don't understand this word.
Slave is a person, is a human being who was exploited and used as...
Ah, okay. I see. Yes.
You know what I mean? You know what?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so if you were born 200 years ago,
Yes.
would you have stood up against slavery or would you have just had a slave?
I need to go, my
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah, so
Thank
just
you.
answer this question and I'll let you go.
I don't understand very well this question.
How do you say slave in French?
Esclave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand this word, but the question I don't understand.
If you were born 200 years ago,
Yes.
do you think you would have said no to slavery? You wouldn't have had a slave? Or do you think you would have had a slave because everybody else has a slave?
Adam, viens, j'ai pas compris, viens.
En gros, il dit si tu aurais été dans les années passées, genre
Ouais,
dans
ça
le
j'ai
siècle
capté,
t'es un
ouais.
esclave,
Ouais.
est-ce que tu aurais dit, est-ce que tu serais opposé à l'esclavagisme,
Ouais,
Dis que t'es pas d'accord.
Dis,
yeah, I'm not agree with the slaves.
Now.
No,
Because it's
I'm-
normal.
Yeah, no, it's not
Well,
normal.
it's normal now to be against slavery.
Yes,
But when
yes.
when it was normal to be for slavery, you would have been for slavery because it was normal to be for slavery.
Yes.
in those century, it was normal to have slaves.
Exactly.
Now, I think it's more different.
So why is it that you can't think that something that you're doing now, which clearly seems wrong, right, to exploit and kill innocent animals, we see it as normal now, but maybe in the future we'll see it just like we do slavery now. We'll see it as something bad.
I think it's because the mindset is changing. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like maybe now we can think that killing animals for some products is wrong, but in maybe in a few years it will be okay.
Well, it will never be okay, right? If you have an option to not do it, why would it ever be okay?
I don't know, but
You're faced with two options in front of you. One is kill an animal, and one is eat as a plant-based product. Which one do you choose?
I don't really do the choice. It's like comment on dit forcé? Être forcé? I'm for no. Être forcé. It's obligatory to buy those products because for me, in my opinion, those products is important and I cannot change them because for example,
Well, you couldn't change slavery. If you were during slavery times, if you didn't have a slave, that didn't change slavery. It just changed your position on slavery.
but slavery is a subject that is comment on dit est différent? It's different. It's different. Slavery is
It's
we cannot do-
exactly the same thing. We brought to life slaves for us to exploit and use them, and we justified it by saying they're not like us. We bring to life animals to exploit and kill them, and we justify it by saying they're not like us.
Yeah,
And
but
we get benefits from having them. We get benefits from exploiting them. Of course we do, but we don't consider them as individuals, as their well-being.
yeah.
Would you do it to dogs?
No, but you know, for the products we can choose to buy something else, like
Yeah.
A product who don't kill animals or
Yeah, like
something like
plants
that.
and plant-based
Yeah,
products, right? We
but,
can choose that.
But for slavery, it's we cannot do that because all the population in the century is have slave in.
You could have chosen also during those times whether to have a slave or not, right?
Yeah.
You
but,
could have chosen to be against it and not have a slave.
Yeah, but you know the mindset is like that in those centuries. So
It would have been difficult, I'll give you that.
Mm.
But I don't know. Though I just kind of want to understand where your values lie, right? Because if you think you would have stood up to slavery because it was an injustice, because it was unfair to do this to them, then probably you should do the same now because it is unfair what we do to animals, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Is it unfair to bring to life animals just so that we can kill them?
I don't have a real opinion in the subject, but
You don't have an opinion on bringing to life animals for the sole purpose of killing them?
it's difficult to have a position and to
It's difficult to say if it's bad or good to bring to life an animal only to kill them?
not if this is bad or not. It's to know it's obligatory or not.
It's not obligatory. You make choices. You just said you
For
make
some
choices.
subject, I think yes. It's
Say it again.
Wait, I think I'm thinking, but like food. For food is obligatory.
Why?
Because
We can eat humans, we can eat dogs, we can eat, and yet you wouldn't eat a human or a dog, but you seem to think it's obligatory to eat these animals. We can thrive, I'm a certified nutritionist. We can thrive on plants and plant-based products. We can be extremely healthy on it.
we have to no, not explain. We have to comment on dit on doit genre sur le sujet on doit s'informer. Comment?
You must inform. Let them say them.
I must.
But we have to go.
Ah, okay.
Let me give you a card before you go, okay?
Okay, okay.
Listen to the conversations back that you had with me. You have my YouTube channel here. Watch the Minion to see what I mean.
Okay.
Just don't be cruel to animals. It's not cool, okay?
Yes, we have to inform on that subject.
Yeah, you get informed. That's very important. Okay, watch one of those videos there.
Okay,
Okay, you just gotta
thank you
scan
so
it,
much.
girl. Cheers. Have a good one. We've been having only language barriers today. Only language barriers, and it's difficult to have conversations when there's language barriers. It's difficult to really hit the nuance of it, isn't it? But that's okay. We continue trying. That doesn't mean we stop. Give me 1 second, everybody. I need to blow my nose. It's so funny to see that people who are participating in the exploitation, abuse, and slaughter of innocent sentient beings who are consuming animal products, they're coming into chats like this where we try to fight for animal rights, and they're putting in the most ridiculous things. I love bacon, I love meat, meat is good. Like, imagine as if that's even an argument to what we're talking about here. It's not. Of course, we all realize that people consume animal products because they enjoy the consumption of animal products. The question is, why do you think that your enjoyment of your 10 minutes of enjoyment is worth more than the whole life of an innocent sentient being? And if you think it is, the question is why? Just because they're born a different species, or just because you have power over them? Because it's kind of ridiculous to think that because you have power over somebody, you can just do whatever you want to them, and that means cutting their throat, chopping them into pieces for a fucking sandwich. That's insane. That's an insane position to have. And somebody says, because God said so. I don't know what God you're talking about. My God is in the shape of a chicken, as I've stated several times on this channel. And my God is a compassionate God, and a compassionate God would never say, you know what, cut the throat of an innocent animal who can feel, who has a subjective experience of the world, who has emotions, who wants to feel love, and who wants to have a family. Yeah, cut their throat, because you know what? You want to eat a sandwich. You want to eat a sandwich with their flesh, so cut their throat. That's totally justified. Of course, you can always choose something else, but it's totally justified to cut their throat. Yeah, no, my compassionate God would never say that. But if you think your God is compassionate and they say that, I feel sorry for you, brother. There's no such thing as political veganism. Veganism is not political. Veganism is about the rights of innocent sentient beings. It has nothing to do with left, right, middle, center, nothing. It is strictly about rights. You may see it as progressive because, you know what, it's different than your traditional thing, but it is not. Just like feminism is not progressive, inherently progressive, it is just about giving women's rights, equal rights and opportunities to women. Veganism is about giving the body autonomy to animals. That's it. You may think it's a diet. It's not. It's about the animals. It's about not exploiting and slaughtering innocent animals. It's about considering them, about realizing that you can always choose something else, whereas they can't. And when you choose to put them into slaughterhouses, your choice is literally infringing on their choice to live. So every one of you who has a problem with me sitting here telling you, please stop consuming animal products, first of all, number one, I'm not forcing you. I'm just trying to be logical and try to explain it logically to you. And number two, when you consume animal products, you are doing exactly the thing that you think you hate me doing it to you. You think telling you, you think you're feeling oppressed by me telling you to stop consuming animal products because it is immoral to do so, because animals deserve to live too. Yet your choice to consume an animal product is literally taking away their whole choices, their whole universe, their whole subjective experience of the world. Also that you can put a little bit of meat on a fucking sandwich. That's insane. That's an insane position to have. It's insane. That's the least compassionate, most selfish position you could ever have. Think about it. Your pleasure is worth so much that you would unalive somebody, that you would cut their throat. Imagine that. Imagine that. That is an insane position to have. That is beyond selfish. Beyond selfish. Listen to our opinions then, don't just rant by yourself. Well, listen man, I'm here sitting on the street. I only see 4 texts. And if sometimes they go back up. So if you have a question, please ask me, and if I see it, I'll answer it. If not, no. My sign says I'm doing a social experiment, come talk to me. Spaghetti man, my sign says I'm doing a social experiment, come talk to me. I think eating meat is my biggest internal contradiction, but I found it very hard to go fully vegan. Any tips on making the leap a bit easier? Jack Leddington. Jack Leddington, that's a good question. I think, if you want a really quick, easy solution, just replace all the animal products that you would eat with their plant-based products counterparts, right? Cheese with vegan cheese, meat with plant-based meat, all this kind of stuff. And I think you'll find it easier. I'm not saying always do that. I'm just saying at the beginning do that until you find your way. There are certain plant-based meats that are extremely healthy, like especially if you have the vegetarian butcher. I don't know if you have that. That's one of the things. But if you are struggling and you want like a pretty guided way to do it, there's Challenge 22. They hook you up with a nutritionist. They send you recipes every day and help you go vegan for free. I think there's a link in the description of this video. It's called Challenge 22. Hi.
What's your name?
I'm Chip. You want to try the social experiment?
Sure.
Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Yeah, that's fine. How long is this gonna take?
Just 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. What's your name?
Ariana.
Ariana. Nice to meet you. Where are you from?
I'm from the U.S.
Where in the U.S.?
Wisconsin. You?
Wisconsin. I'm from Romania originally, but I live here in the Netherlands. My sister lives in the U.S. That's why I always ask.
Oh, awesome.
Nice. So let me ask you, Ariana, how do you feel about oppression?
Oh.
Would you say it's okay to oppress somebody because you have power over them?
I don't know. I feel like I don't like to put my input on anything unless I'm fully knowledge on something.
That's okay. Let me explain. So oppression means cruel or unjust treatment, right?
Yeah, okay.
Do you think it's okay to be cruel or unjust towards somebody just because you can?
Well, no.
No. Okay. What if you benefit from being cruel or unjust towards them?
What do you mean by being benefiting?
You get some form of benefit. Like slavery, you could have benefited from slavery, right? Because somebody would have done your work. That's one example. But there's other forms of oppression where you can benefit from it. Just imagine something like that.
Yeah.
Would that make it okay?
No, obviously not.
Okay. What if the person who you are taking advantage of doesn't realize that they're being taken advantage of? Would it be okay to be cruel or unjust towards them?
No, no.
No. Okay.
Obviously.
Okay. So then let me bring it back to a slightly different thing, animals.
Okay. Sure.
Do you think it's okay to be cruel or unjust towards animals?
Obviously not. I think there should be limits.
There should be limits? In what way?
I'm thinking in the more medicine terminology. I think that, I don't think that we should be testing on animals, but I think that we do need to test on animals to create medicine. So, I don't know, it's kind of a hard topic.
You can be testing on humans also, consenting humans, right?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think so too. But
it would yield better results. I think it was that 95% of the things we test on animals are not applicable to humans anyway, so we would be way more profitable if we tested on humans anyway.
I think it's just a lot more tricky to be testing on humans than it is to be on animals. I know that in the US, they do have regulations, and I do think we do need to be stronger in our regulations, but I don't think we can just like fully stop testing on animals ever.
But let
be
me ask you
honest.
this: do you think animals deserve moral consideration? And by that I mean
Yeah.
that if our actions impact them, we should consider their well-being.
Oh yeah, for sure. I definitely.
For sure.
I really do think that. Yeah.
Okay, and let me ask you, because a lot of the times we forget about the animals that we usually farm, like cows, chickens, and pigs. Do you think we should be exploiting or slaughtering them?
I guess I don't know. I don't know.
Do you think we're being cruel and unjust when we are doing that towards them?
I don't know. I guess I have no say on that because I'm not a vegetarian and I do eat meat, so I don't want to.
But you can think a little bit, right? If you were in their position and somebody had power over you and they wanted to cut your throat and chop you into pieces for a sandwich,
Yeah.
they can always choose something else. Would it be okay for them to do that to you? Would it be, not if it would be okay, would it be cruel or unjust if they did that to you?
I mean, it's not okay, but I don't know. I just feel like this is just how the world works in a sense, and I think our ancestors, this is how they ate, and so I don't know.
But isn't every injustice in this world that we have tackled, women's rights, slavery, all these injustices, they were happening throughout whole of human history, but at some point we said we gotta end it because we don't need it anymore. And it's the same with animal agriculture. We don't actually need it anymore. We can thrive on plants and plant-based products.
Yeah, I definitely do like agree. I think that we should be like evolving more, eating less meat and stuff. But I do think it's also tricky because in the U.S. I know they've tried to do like plant meat, but if you look at the ingredients, they're absolutely terrible for
We
you.
don't have to eat plant meat.
Yeah. But I'm just saying. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let me just give you a card before you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, watch the Minion. Can you promise me you'll watch the Minion?
Sure.
You just gotta scan
Okay.
that QR code, okay?
Thanks.
Thank
Have
you.
a good
Cheers.
day.
Have a good one. Everybody has to go now. Today it's one of those days. The conversation was kind of going in a good direction, but damn it, she had to go. That's okay.
그냥 한국은 그냥 우리 좀 한가람 갔다 오던 거 아니면은 을지로 가가지고.
A lot of runners, yeah. This guy has to be an atheist. Veganism is his religion. No, it is not. Veganism is a moral position against the needless exploitation of non-human animals. It is highly logical. And the only reason why I am a vegan is because I am a critical thinker. And there is no logical argument against veganism. None. Anything you can think of, anything, absolutely anything you can think of, you can Google it and realize that it is absolutely not a good enough reason against veganism. 100% everything. Nice one, Chip. Cheers for bringing up animal testing. John Kautak says, I didn't bring it up, John Kautak, thank you, but she brought it up actually. And I just wanted to I wanted to go a little bit deeper into that, but I saw her friends making a sign and I'm like, okay, well, let's just go really quick into this also. And eventually we didn't get to have a decent conversation, but you know, maybe she'll watch that video and maybe we'll get there somewhere. But YM has the amazing argument that killing animals for fun is my opinion and opinions don't have to be defended. So can't counter that. Well, you can, because YM, if you ask YM if you're okay with abusing animals, if you're okay for abusing animals, or if you think it's okay to do whatever you want to animals as long as you get pleasure or you get some form of benefit from it, if you think that's not okay, if you're against cruelty towards animals, you cannot say you're not vegan. You cannot be not vegan and say that you're against cruelty to animals. It's morally inconsistent. You cannot say you respect animals, but you're not vegan. It's logically inconsistent, okay? So any form of relationship that you would say it's good, any form of good relationship you would have with animals, you cannot have it unless you are vegan. Anything else is just morally inconsistent and logically doesn't follow. It's pretty easy. No benefit from not eating meat, says Joe. Well, there is a lot of benefits from not eating meat, but that's not the point. The point is, imagine this. It's an injustice, the fact that we exploit and slaughter innocent sentient beings for fucking sandwiches. It is an injustice. And imagine a whole other injustice of somebody punching a person on the street just because they can and just because they have power to do so. And then them saying, well, there's no benefit for me to stop punching somebody. Imagine that. It's not about your benefit, it's about them, leaving them alone, acknowledging that they are sentient beings who deserve moral consideration. That's it. And by moral consideration, I mean that if our actions impact them, then we should consider their well-being. That's it. That's it. That's all. That's all. It's pretty easy. You can bring up any other stuff. You can bring up, I saw somebody bring up clothes. You can bring up phones. You can bring up all these other stuff. But you know what? In all those situations, and in all those situations, you also have a moral obligation, right? If you are presented, if you have the choice to buy a clothes that come from more exploitation versus clothes that buy from less exploitation, you have a moral obligation to choose clothes that come from less exploitation. It's simple. That's also with food. Why would you think that for food is different? For anything that you support, any product that you buy, you should be considering, is there a way that I could buy this with less exploitation? And wouldn't you know it, if you buy animal products where there is, and it's close to no exploitation, and that is when you're buying plants and plant-based products. You want to try a social experiment? Thank you, Erwin, for telling me that Space Money is a troll. I will ignore what he's saying then. I want to try a social experiment. Go do something instead of waiting for reactions. I'm not waiting for reactions. I'm trying to get you to educate people that it is not okay to exploit and slaughter innocent sentient beings just because you were taught that way. Just because everybody's been doing it for a long time does not make it moral, okay? Do you think that if we've been doing something for a long time, then it automatically becomes moral? A bit of a headache today because whenever I get the influenza virus, I always have a sinus infection afterwards for a couple of days. And that's what's happening today for me. I eat meat and haven't been sick in years, says Slug17. Well, Slug17, I don't eat meat and I haven't been sick in years. It's been 5 years and this is the first time I get sick. There you go. What kind of logic is that? Doesn't really matter. Do you think a virus goes like, oh no, this person eats meat. I can't possibly multiply in this host. I gotta exit out of here. Come on, man. You probably don't know how the immune system works if you think that's actually an actual thing. I also hate it when people think that a certain diet boosts your immune system that much more. It doesn't. There's no such thing as boosting an immune system. The immune system just has a normal state, and it has a state when it's a little bit tired, when it's been used up, when it produces a certain antiviral or the protein that fights against other viruses, but like white blood cells and T cells and all this kind of stuff, where they use them against other viruses, and when they're flowing through your blood more often, because if you've recently had a virus, your immune system will try to produce more of the antibody. That's the word I was looking for. I kept thinking we'll try to produce more antibodies for that virus. So in that moment, your immune system isn't actually lower, it's just producing more of one thing than another. And it only has a certain capacity to produce logically. So there is no such thing as boosting your immune system or getting your immune system lower. It's just your immune system may be preoccupied with something else at the moment. So please don't buy into that whole bullshit. Be smart about it, be critical thinkers. This is outside of being plant-based or vegan or whatever it is you think you can be. Okay? Slug17 says, go be happy. Slug17, I am generally a happy person, but it's very difficult for me to be happy knowing that other individuals are exploited and slaughtered for optional products. It's very difficult for me to be happy knowing that there's injustices in the world that could just go away simply by people choosing something else. And what I try to do is I fight against those injustices. That's what gives me happiness. You know, being an animal rights activist gives me happiness. Then he'd see that not every farm is a slaughterhouse or abusive. Every farm brings animals to life for the sole purpose of exploiting and killing them. Every farm, 100% of the farms. That is their purpose. Farming inherently implies exploiting, treating them as resources. These are sentient individuals. These are individuals who have the capability to feel, to think, to have a subjective experience. Treating them like mere resources is just as unjust as treating humans like resources, okay? Because for the same reason, we can think, we can feel, and we can emote. It's not that we inherently are born with a specific gene or something that all of a sudden gives us, moral superiority or moral, somehow we're, there you go, we have more moral consideration because we're born with this gene or something. No. It's strictly because all of us are sentient, because we would feel the consequences of somebody exploiting and slaughtering you, being abusive towards you, being oppressive towards you. So yeah, all farms are oppressive. Absolutely, 100%. And you know, I come from Romania, and in my grandma's backyard, I've seen oppression. I've seen it on small farms. I've seen it on large farms. I've seen it everywhere. Oppression is everywhere. Hi. Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Oh,
You can be off camera if you
I
want.
want to be off camera.
Okay, that's okay. What's your name?
Henriette,
Henriette. Nice to meet you. I'm
nice
Chip.
to meet you.
Where are you from?
From the Netherlands.
Oh, okay. I'm
Rotterdam.
from Romania originally, but I live here.
Okay.
So let me ask you, how do you feel about animals?
Depends on which animal.
Let me ask you this, do you think animals deserve moral consideration? And by that I mean that if our actions impact them, then we should consider their well-being.
Okay, this is where this conversation is going.
Yeah.
Well, I think I like animals.
You like animals?
I like animals.
If I said, let me put it this way, if I said I like women, but then I go around beating women, do I really like women?
Oh yeah, well, I'm done with this conversation.
Why is that?
Because I don't want to talk about, well, I don't know how to say it in English.
The animals we exploit for food or for clothing?
Yes.
Why not? Is it because you participate in it and you feel guilty about it?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No, I don't.
So then why not talk about it?
Well, because the sun is shining and I just want to have happy conversations.
Do you think these animals deserve to be happy?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
So how can you
I'm
say that
going
they
to
deserve
walk.
to be happy if you pay
Have
for them to
very,
have a knife to their
very
throat?
Nice day. Thank
Isn't
you.
that like a contradiction in your own value system? Wow, a lot of runners today indeed. Today is the running day. Running day. I have to go soon, but I really want to have a good conversation.
Do you speak English?
Yeah, English only.
Okay, perfect.
Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Yeah.
What's your
I'm good
name?
with that. I'm Ben.
Ben, where are you from, Ben?
I'm from Linden, Washington.
Okay, love it. I'm from Romania, but I live here, and I'm Chip.
Okay.
Okay, let me ask you, Ben, how do you feel about animals?
Animals, I love animals for the
Okay.
most part, yeah.
Do you think animals deserve moral consideration? And by that I mean, if our actions impact them, then we should consider their well-being.
That's a really good question, actually. Yes, I think we should for the most part, like with their environment and things like that. I think we should be considerate of how what we're doing affects them, yeah.
Okay. And do you think that if we're presented with a choice that we would be oppressing animals or not, which one should we choose?
Depending on the context of like how we're oppressing them, like if you're talking food, as long as you're not doing overtly excessive, horrible things, but like getting food from animals, I don't find that wrong as long as it's not overly excessive.
What about using them for their skin?
For their skin?
To wear their skin?
once again, as long as it's not like excessive. Like if it was an animal that was killed for the purpose of food and you have the skin left over, then yeah, go ahead, use the skin.
I just let me put it this way. I take dogs, I give them a sedative, and then I cut their throat.
No.
No?
No.
But I give them a sedative before that.
No.
It's very nice.
Not for dogs, no.
Not for dogs?
No.
Why not?
Because dogs aren't used for food. As long as you're using it for
I'd
food.
like to use dogs for food, yeah.
Okay, I think using a dog for food is wrong.
Why?
I feel like dogs, they're more of a friendly animal or an animal that we would consider a pet rather than food. I think over generations we've created different animals that have become used for food versus an animal used as a pet. And over the generations we've established which ones can be used as food, which ones aren't used for food.
Well, we decided that, right?
Yes, we did.
Did any of these animals consent to being exploited or slaughtered for food or for other things?
I don't think animals can consent because...
They can't, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I just want to understand a little bit where your values lie, right? Because you seem to think that some animals deserve moral consideration, like dogs.
Yes.
But cows, chickens, and pigs do not deserve moral consideration.
I think that we should... I think that some animals, like some ways that we kill animals, like the extreme slaughterhouses and horrible conditions, no, those shouldn't be
99% of animals end up in slaughterhouses.
Yeah, I don't agree. I think it should be back to when we had like farms and ranches where they were free range. They like raised the animals, and then like it was a humane way of like cows and chickens, and like they were actually raised properly, not like raised in pens that are small, but raised.
But that's not what
few.
you're paying for right now, is it?
No,
No.
Sadly not. I
Sadly
wish it
not.
was. I wish it was.
Okay, but that's number one. But let me ask you, even in that ideal situation, bringing to life an animal for the sole purpose of exploiting and killing them, knowing full well you could choose a plant and the plant-based stuff, is that really okay to do?
I think yes. I think it is. I think personally
So
that
it's okay to do that to dogs then?
not to dogs, but like I said, to animals that we've come.
But what is this double standard? What is this difference between a dog and a pig? Let's put it a pig. That justifies cutting the throat for one but not the other.
The standards that we've made over generations.
So the values that we place on them.
Yes, the values that we've placed.
And do you think that's a moral thing to say? Do you think that we should be judging individuals based on the value we place on them, not the value they have themselves?
Well, personally, I think that humans are the only beings with souls.
Okay.
I'm a religious
How
man.
would you define a soul?
A soul is something given by God. God gave us our souls.
How would you
We were
define it? How
created
would you
in
know
his-
if I have it or if you have it?
We were created in His image. So
So how would you
personally-
know if you have it or I have it?
We all humans have it. We are created.
Maybe I'm not human. How would you know if I have a soul or not?
Well, I'm pretty sure you're human.
Well, how would you know if I have a soul or not? I'm just curious.
Here. So, basically, God created us. Say there's a God and He created us. Say He created us in His image, but not animals in His image.
But say I create a human being myself, not created by God. I made them. I create biologically. I create the best, the absolute 100%. I have machines, looks exactly like a human, walks like a human, talks like a human.
It wouldn't be a human.
But how would you know if they have a soul or not? You would be walking by and
They
you
don't
wouldn't
have a
know.
soul. So when
How would you know?
When God says He created people in His image,
But how would you define a soul? I understand what you mean.
Yes.
But what you're
His
saying,
image is our soul.
What you're
So
saying is
they
that-
don't have His image. So,
So
they
there's
don't
no
have a
such thing
soul.
as soul. It's just humans, right? Because if you say all humans have souls,
Mhm.
that means that souls don't really matter because all humans have souls. So you
Souls
can just
do
say
matter.
humans.
You can have a condemned soul versus a saved soul.
Well, I'm just curious. What is a soul? Again, like if I point to
soul is
you a
what God-
being that
what
looks
God gives us.
But how would you know if somebody has a soul or not?
Everybody has a soul. It just
Every human has
every
a soul.
human has a soul. Yes.
So again, it doesn't really matter. If human has a soul, then you can just say human, because they're synonymous. If a human cannot exist without a soul and a soul cannot exist without a human,
A soul
then
can
they're
exist
both
without a
exactly
human.
the same. Oh, a soul can
God
exist.
has a soul.
God has a soul.
He's not a human.
Okay. So how would you define a soul then?
A soul is something that God has or gives you. Like I said, it's God's soul is what our when it says.
But you can't define it.
When God says that we have a soul,
Is
or that
personality
He
part
made-
of the soul?
No, a personality is not part of a soul. A soul is something that God gives us. It's our almost moral direction, kind of. God gave human souls, humans sentient. They're sentient. They make their own choices.
So is sentience synonymous with soul?
No, not synonymous, but it's part.
It's a part of it.
Yes.
So having sentience is part of having a soul.
Yes.
What if somebody is not sentient? Do they still have a soul?
Every human's sentient.
Yeah, but also all animals are sentient. So I'm trying to understand why you
Well,
think that animals don't have a soul.
I don't think
then.
they are sentient.
Well, you don't have to think. There's science behind it. That's luckily they are sentient. Yes.
Sentient as in
They have a subjective experience. They have emotions. They feel. They want to love. They have thoughts. They want to form families. They want to form bonds. They have friendships. Hell, pigs. They go out and pick flowers and bring them to their house to decorate their house. That's what pigs do. So, I'm just trying to understand how could you ever tell if they have that they say that they don't have souls, because it seems to me like they behave exactly like a human does.
I don't think they behave exactly like a human
What
does.
exactly does a human do
A
specifically?
human has, most of the time, regard for other humans. A human has the
so do
ability
other
to.
animals. They have regards for their own animals. Yeah.
Yeah, but humans also have regard for things that aren't other humans. Whereas a pig, if given a chance, would eat you.
Well, no, they don't, because you don't have regards for these animals because you seem to think that they don't deserve it for no reason, just random. You disregard cows, chickens, and pigs because it's just random to you. There's no logical reason behind it, is there?
No,
so
it's
just
for
because
food.
you
for
because
food,
you
yeah.
chose them for food. They never chose to be food, or somebody told you
They
that they're
can't
food.
choose to be food or
No,
not to be food.
Exactly, but some
Humans are the apex predator.
But
Humans
you see my
are
point, right?
apex.
You
Yeah.
see my point,
Yes,
right?
I do.
That you have made you could care for these animals. You could be compassionate and fair towards them, but you choose to not be compassionate and fair. You choose to be unfair, and you choose to cut their throat and chop them into pieces for something that you don't actually need. So I'm just trying to understand.
I think that yes.
How is that? How does that give you? What exactly
Yes,
gives you
it
the
would
right
be
to do that?
wonderful to be able to not have to eat
But you don't have
meat.
to.
I feel like I get so much nutrients and protein from meat that I can't get otherwhere. I mean,
I'm a certified nutritionist. Please
you're
tell me exactly
certified
what.
nutrition. Okay,
Oh,
tell me
yeah.
where else I could get protein other than that I could get from a cow that I couldn't get from.
First of all, meat is not the greatest source of protein. That's animal agriculture propaganda, because meat is also high in fat. So you'll be getting less protein per calorie than you would with any other soy product, like soy chunks, like tofu. Maybe not like tempeh. Tempeh is kind of like meat, but tofu and soy chunks are products that are much higher in protein than meat
Okay.
per calorie.
Okay. So fair enough. Fair enough. I'll give you that.
Yeah. You can get nutrition. It's
Yes.
not, it's not my opinion. This is science. It's not. You don't have to trust me on this one. Like, you can definitely thrive on a plant-based diet. So
Yes.
then it's optional for us to exploit and slaughter animals. So I'm just curious, because you seem to be a compassionate and fair person.
Yeah, I'm very.
Can
I
we?
wish-
Are you really fair and compassionate to these animals when you choose for them to get exploited and slaughtered? You could always choose differently.
I feel like I personally wouldn't have a big enough impact. Personally, one person isn't going to change it. If there's meat at a store,
But let
they're
me put
already
it this
dead.
way: there's the richest person on earth. Maybe it's Elon Musk, whoever, whatever.
Bezos,
There's a
Elon Musk, yeah.
there's a rich person on earth, right? And they have the capability, because they have so much money, to take 100 people every year on this planet and just kill them.
Yeah.
He just wants to do that, or he or she. They want to just do that, right?
Yeah.
And if you were in those 100, it would mean everything to you. But it would 100 people out of the whole planet, 8 billion people, means nothing. It doesn't make a difference, as you said.
Yeah.
But if it means everything to you if you are one of those 100 people,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So just like that, if you were to go vegan, you could save 100 animals per year. It probably doesn't mean a lot to animal agriculture, because we kill 80 billion land animals. But it would mean everything to those 100 animals.
Yeah. Well, that comes back to I don't think that animals are at the same level as humans of
I never
rights.
said they are. I never
don't
said they
think-
are, but don't you think
yeah.
they deserve at least the basic body autonomy? That is, to decide what they can do with their own body? Like, that's literally just it.
If you can find a way that can make it so that they can communicate to us what way they want their body treated, then yes.
Wait, do you
But-
think that the animals that cry, that yell, that back off, that fight off to not get killed, that's not a way of them communicating to us, don't do this to me?
Well, some animals do that, other animals don't.
All animals do that. Go to a slaughterhouse and see how all of them are shaking in fear.
That's when I say we
crying.
shouldn't have slaughterhouses and we should have like free range ranches
Well,
and
the only reason why it's they're shaking in slaughterhouses because they know where they're going. But this demonstrates exactly this, that they don't want to die. Do you think that if you kill an animal on the field or you kill them in a slaughterhouse, they just don't want to die anywhere? They don't want to die in a field or in a slaughterhouse. So, but I'm just trying to understand, how would it ever be moral to you to kill that, to take that life of an animal when you can choose not to?
Because I want the food. It
You
tastes
want
good
it,
as
you
well.
want it. Yeah. So your sensory pleasure is worth more than their life, and you're saying you're a compassionate person when you're saying my 10 minutes of pleasure is worth more than your whole existence?
They exist. Okay, don't take this the wrong way. Biblically, they exist for our consumption. There are animals that God has set aside for our consumption.
Yeah, but even you
and
don't
for
believe
slaughter.
anything in the Bible, do you?
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes,
because
I
there's passages in the Bible that said you should go and enslave the people who are your neighbors, or not your neighbors, but like from other countries. There's literally passages in the Bible that
Those
say
are
that.
passages to Israel during a time in which
And
they
you
were
don't
at
agree
war.
with them, do you?
No, I do agree that if God told Israel that these people were to be like taken over
But let
and
me just ask you
enslaved,
this, because
then
I just fail to see, with all the religious people I speak to, I gotta ask you this.
What?
How could you possibly know that what is written in the Bible isn't a misdirection from the devil themselves? Because any compassionate God would not say, please go and kill a sentient being, a beautiful sentient being, that I gave them the capability to have emotions and to feel pain, that I gave them the capability to have a subjective experience of the world, but please go and kill them so that you can make yourself a sandwich. You're sure you could eat another plant, but please go and take their life. Do you think a compassionate God would rather you take their life of an animal, or that you choose the other thing? The reason why I'm not religious is because of all these contradictions in the Bible. Because nobody seems to think the idea that, well, the Bible's been written by humans, therefore why would you think it's the word of God if it's been written by humans?
it was written by humans inspired by God.
Inspired by God.
Yes.
So is it possible that those humans got some things wrong?
No.
No?
If it's in the Bible, it's in the
So if it's in the Bible, it's 100% correct.
Yes.
Well, oh my God,
Yes.
man! What do you think about the passages in the Bible where it says that if a woman cheats on her husband, then she should be raped and killed? There's passages who say that.
Old Testament, that was before the New
It's
Covenant.
still in the Bible. Old
Yes,
Testament.
Old Testament before the New Covenant. So the New Covenant, when Jesus died on the cross, created a new covenant that changed the way of we don't have to listen to the old rules anymore.
So nothing in the Old
So you still
Testament
shouldn't
matters
cheat.
anymore.
No, you still shouldn't cheat on your husband, but God
So you're still
now
picking and
teaches.
choosing. You see what I mean?
No, God now chooses that it is now from Jesus. Jesus taught compassion.
You're
Jesus
picking
is.
and choosing, man.
No,
You're picking
I'm
and
not.
choosing. And let me ask you this: what feels right to you? Hold this for a second.
Yeah, I got you. I got you, man.
So I'm just curious because I just want to be clear that we're on the same page. Do you think that God would rather you eat would eat plants, or you would do this? Honestly.
God says you can eat
So
both.
God would say, you are being a compassionate person when you choose to kill this beautiful sentient being who feels pain, who yells, do not kill me, but you cannot understand it. So you think God would say, yeah, do that. And you think
we
that God is
sacrifice-
and you
the
think that God
Israelites-
is compassionate when
Yes,
you said that.
God is compassionate. Yes.
You don't see no
and
any
God had
contradiction in
people
this.
sacrifice animals to atone for their
So
sins.
you should do this to dogs also then, right? Because
Not to dogs. No,
why?
he never said dogs. It was goats, it was pigeons, it was doves, it was different animals. There were certain animals that he said, yes, you can do.
You've been duped,
Oftentimes pigs before Jesus died on the cross, before he died,
And you
pigs
think
weren't
it's
allowed to be eaten.
compassionate to do this to an animal?
I didn't say that.
I'm just curious. You think it's fair to do this to an animal?
I think it's fair, yes.
You think it's fair?
We're humans, man.
So what?
We are made in God's image. God.
So what? We have power over them. That doesn't mean it's fair to do whatever we want to them. Putting a knife to their throat.
God gave us this power. God gave us this ability to do so.
I think you've been duped, man. I don't
I don't
think
think
any
I have.
compassionate God. Why? Wait, well, you know that when you believe in the Garden of Eden?
Yes.
Well, did the Garden of Eden kill animals? Where
No,
where
it
is
was
the
sin. It was the humans who brought in sin.
Yeah.
Sin is what does this.
So this
It's
is a
because of
sin. So this is a sin.
No, God. This happens because sin came into the world, and God was like, okay, sin is in the world.
So your compassionate God brought sin into the world
He did not
and
bring
said,
sin into the world.
And said, oh no, we brought
Adam
sin
and-
into
yes,
the world.
we brought
right?
sin into the
yeah,
world.
and your compassionate God said, well, since you brought sin into this world, all these sentient beings that I created who have the capability to have emotions and feel pain, you may as well just inflict that pain on them because you can, because you feel the need to, because you get a little bit 10 minutes of pleasure from it.
No, God said that we are in charge of the earth. We have dominion over the earth,
And
and therefore
dominion,
we
why?
have dominion over his things.
But why does dominion mean to you that you can cut their throat? Doesn't dominion
I
mean
have dominion
stewardship?
over them,
You have
which means
dominion,
I can.
which means you should take care of them, not use them for what you want.
Yes, I take care of them, and then they take care of me in return with the nutrients.
How do you take care of them when you cut their throat?
Sorry, we do have to get back to dinner, and
At
we
some
have about
point, okay.
a 40-minute walk. So
Okay.
we got to get there.
God gave us dominion over his animals. We can do.
I think
what
you're
we
just
please.
I think you're just using religion to justify a horrific thing, just because.
I'm saying that
just
God
because,
gave us permission.
No. Let me explain. You're using religion to justify a horrific thing that you want to continue doing, just because it gives you a form of pleasure, and you find it inconvenient to change. And if you think that a compassionate God would say, "Oh hell yeah, you're right," if you think Jesus would put a knife to the throat of a goat when he had the option not to, because nowadays you have the option not to. When Jesus was alive, maybe he didn't have that option, but nowadays you do have that option. And if you think a compassionate individual would rather cut the throat of an innocent animal just because he can and just because he gets 10 minutes of pleasure would ruin a whole life for its sentient individual, I think you've been duped then. I think you're just misreading it.
I don't think I do, but
I think you have.
that's your opinion, man. Hey,
Well, that's not my opinion. That's the truth. Let me give you a card. Watch. I'm not sure if it's there, but
Okay.
watch Christspiracy. I think you
'Kay.
might enjoy it. If you're a religious person, you'll enjoy it. Okay.
'Kay. Hey,
Okay. You
perfect,
promise
man.
me you'll watch Christspiracy?
I'll try.
I'm
I'll
not
try.
perfect. I just
Yep.
respect animals. That's
Yep.
it. Okay.
Hey, it was great talking to you, man.
Okay.
It was a great conversation. I enjoy getting opinions from other people, so
Okay.
thank you, man.
Okay. Have a good one. Ugh. People using religion to justify horrific things. I really don't like that. Ugh. Let's try one more conversation. It's so ridiculous. Also, this statement, this idea that so the Bible is written by humans, but everything is written that's written that cannot possibly be by a mistake. What a ridiculous statement to begin with. Jesus Christ, man! If you want to believe in a religion, that's why I'm an anti-theist these days. That's why I'm an anti-theist, because that's what theism does to you. That's what it does. It brings you to your knees. It brings you to a lack of judgment, a lack of logic, just so that you can, just for fear of, I don't even know why the hell people believe this. If you believe in a compassionate God, far be it from me to judge you. Do that if you want to do that, but be logical about it. No compassionate God who said that they created beautiful sentient beings would say, well, I created beautiful sentient beings and I gave them the capability to feel and emote so that you can cut their throat. Come on. At least be logical about it. There's no compassion in that. There's no fairness in that. That's just a dick move. If that's what if that's what your God did, then that's a class A dick move. But I don't think that it is. And even if you were to believe in a God, I think it's more likely that you've been duped. It's more likely that you believing that God says it's okay to cut the throat of an animal when you don't need to is more like, no, I don't think they do. I don't think it does. But I don't give a shit because I don't care about religion. I'm not religious. I'm an anti-theist. There's no proof for God. There's no proof for any of that. So I don't need to believe in it. The whole idea of a God punishing you because you don't believe in them, but then there's no proof for their existence other than, look at that, there's this book that is highly contradictory and highly illogical. Well, if you don't read this highly contradictory, highly illogical book, and if you don't believe everything that it says in it, and if you don't follow everything that it says there, but it's contradictory, how do I follow the contradictory things? Doesn't matter, you just have to follow them, because if you don't follow them, you'll burn in hell for all of eternity. Yeah, great, thank you. That's compassionate and fair, sure. Such a ridiculous thing. And look at this guy, lineage. Where does good morals originate? This whole bullshit of trying to get me to say that the only objective morals are from God. They cannot possibly. If they're from God, they're subjective from the start. Morals are intersubjective. That's what they are. And not just that. Morals are a highly complex thing. They're a highly complex apparatus where we try to make logical arguments from what feels right and what feels wrong in this world and what we should or shouldn't do. It's a very complex system, and yes, there are complex situations where it's fun to judge them and think. But if you're put in a situation where you could potentially harm somebody or not harm them, I would say there is no moral way that you could say that, well, harming them is the moral way, regardless. Regardless. You have to think a little bit. Come on. And I know you kind of want to try and justify all of this things that you're doing, all of this oppression. You want to find good enough justifications. You want to continue doing it because it brought you pleasure, because you've been doing it 3 times a day, and because you know what? Oh, that's who I am. I don't want to change. It brings me pleasure. I get that, but you got to think a little bit more. You got to think for yourself a little bit. Be a critical thinker. Don't just sit in your lane and do as you're told. I just ask people some questions, get them to think.
Okay.
Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Sure.
Cool. What's your name?
Ava.
Eva, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Where are you from?
Florida.
Florida.
United States.
That's cool, that's cool. So how do you feel about animals?
I like animals.
You like animals?
Yeah.
Do you think it's okay to oppress animals? And by that I mean be cruel or unjust towards them?
No.
No? But do you think that maybe when we're consuming animal products such as meat, cheese, eggs, stuff like that, we are actually being oppressive towards them?
I think it depends on how you go about it. Like, I wouldn't say the Native Americans were really oppressive towards them, but I would say consumer culture is overall.
Well, maybe the Americans didn't have alternatives. Would you say it's okay to exploit and slaughter an animal? Let me just put it this way. It's okay. Is it okay to bring to life an animal for the sole purpose of exploiting them and then killing them for optional products?
No.
No. So given that we don't need to consume animal products today, wouldn't any animal product be an oppressive product? As in cruel and unjust? Because there's no need behind it.
I still think there's certain parts of the world where they aren't oppressing animals when they eat animals.
And maybe in those situations, if you're in a situation where you need to do it, it's a different case. But you and I are not in situations where we need to do it, right? We have access to supermarkets, we have access to resources. So if we're in a situation where we don't need to do it, how can we morally justify doing it?
That's a fair point.
And okay, thank you for that.
Yeah,
but
I support that.
Yeah, so how do you feel? How can we morally justify that? I'm sorry, my brain is broken right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to make an attempt. I've not eaten meat for a while and eventually had a little bit, and so I don't know. I also feel the weight of it.
Yeah, fair enough. And it's not just meat, it's all animal products. They inherently exploit and slaughter animals, right? Like for instance, dairy cows. Do you know what happens in the dairy industry?
Nothing good.
Nothing good, yeah. So let's just a little bit walk through it and just to at least leave with some information from this conversation. Do you know why cows produce milk in the first place?
Say that again?
Do you know why cows produce milk in the first place?
To feed their young, I assume.
Exactly, yeah. So they have to have babies for that, right? Do you think they decide when to get pregnant on their own, or do you think farmers decide for them?
Farmers definitely decide.
Yeah. If we did that with humans, what would we call it?
Exploitation of some sort.
Yeah, some form of sexual exploitation, right? Yeah, and when the babies are born, what do you think happens to them?
They're raised to be killed.
Well, the first thing that happens is they separate them from their mothers, so they don't drink the milk, because the milk has to go for human consumption.
Right.
And if they're born male, they get killed, as you said. Maybe they get raised to get killed, maybe they killed straight away. Or even on some farms, they get left to starve to death. You know, it's an industry to them. They don't really matter to them. And if they're born female, same fate as their mother. Every year, forcefully inseminated, baby stolen and exploited for milk. And at some point, they kill them. Do you know when?
When they're old, or they can't produce milk anymore.
When they can no longer get them pregnant. You know when that happens?
No.
A third of their lifespan.
Wow.
Yeah, like 6 to 7 years old, and they can live 24, 25 years, so very young. Because no body was made to be forcefully inseminated every year repeatedly, right?
Right.
Does this sit right by you, what I just described?
No, I don't think it sits right by anyone, I'd hope.
Yeah, well, there's people, you'd be surprised, there's people who say, well, as long as we get food from it, it's okay.
Yeah.
But we can get food, nutrition from other sources, can't we, right? So we don't need to do this to these animals.
Are you out here independently, or do you have a cause behind you?
No, I'm independently. I try to fight for animal rights. I try to get people
Awesome.
to go vegan. Do you know what being vegan is?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. Can you like? What do you think it is?
Not eating animal products or animals themselves.
Yeah, that's a consequence of being vegan, by the way, right? Like veganism
Or
is.
not like associating yourself, not wearing them, not.
Yeah, exactly. So veganism is strictly about animals. It's about respecting them and leaving them alone. Basically, in exact terms, it's rejecting the idea that animals are here for us to be exploited and slaughtered. You know, and as a consequence of it, of course, you're not going to eat their flesh, wear their skin, or use them for testing.
Right.
Go to zoos. You know, this kind of like for entertainment and stuff like that. How do you feel about that value? Do you align with the values of veganism?
Yeah, I do. I've tried for several times in my life to be vegan, and then I'll get to restaurants where it's not possible for me to eat, and I'll be hungry, and I'll cave, which I guess kind of defeats the purpose. But yeah, I mean, I fully support it. I wish it was more doable. Does that make sense?
Well, let me put it this way, because if you're in a restaurant where like, obviously I understand the situation. I've been to US. My sister lives in North Carolina. It's kind of difficult in certain places. I noticed they don't have any vegan options. Sadly, it's so weird to me. Here you have everywhere. You have vegan
I've
options.
noticed that. It's been awesome.
Yeah, but like there's not a lot of vegan options everywhere. But if you're in a situation where you would, let's say you wouldn't find a vegan option, wouldn't you say it's more important than to not eat there and maybe search somewhere else where you can?
Yeah, that's definitely fair.
Because at the point at that situation, a worst case scenario for you become a little bit hungrier, but you do find sustenance eventually.
Right.
Whereas if you buy that animal product, you're making a choice where an animal will have their throat cut. You know.
Yeah, I agree. I appreciate what you're doing. Nice talking to you.
Nice
meeting
talking to you. Okay, well let me
Take care.
let me just give you a card before
I'm
you
good.
go. You're good.
I appreciate it. Have a
You're
good
not
one.
gonna go vegan. You're just gonna.
I probably will.
Okay. Well, let me give you a card to help you out. Okay. Another runner. I don't know what it is today, everybody. Running. 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 We should have called it the runner stream. Everybody runs away. They all run. Well, I asked, well, you're not going to go vegan, and they said, I might. So I don't know what's going on there. I said, I'm going to give you a card to help you out. No, I'm good. Okay, whatever. I don't know. You know, I never understand why people. I thought it was a conversation that was going somewhere, but yeah, is what it is. There's days like that, huh? I think that's the first time I've seen somebody say no to the card. Well, there's been people who said no to the card, yeah. There haven't been people who said no to the card who said they want to go vegan. No, I've never seen that also. That's the first time I see it. Joe, somebody wants to debate me. Oh, hell yeah. Who wants to debate me? Let's go. Let's go. I'm not going to debate you by me speaking and you writing. We got to debate speak to speak, okay? I'll give you a link. You can log into it, turn on your camera, turn on your microphone, and we can debate. No problem. Believe says you have no arguments. Believe, then you should be able to debate me and win in a debate against me, right? Since you think I have no arguments, right? What would the topic of the debate be? Veganism is a moral imperative. It's a moral obligation. Believe says I very much could. Very well, Believe. Drop a comment in this video. Contact me on Instagram, RealChipGuy. I'll send you a link easily. We can debate, no problem. How old are you, sir? I'm 37. Erwin says, I'll try to find people to debate you. Thank you, Erwin. You don't have to, by the way, but thank you. I appreciate you. Almost everybody who comes to this chat Will it be streamed? I hope so. Everybody who comes in this chat says, oh yeah, I want to debate you, but then they never follow through. I don't know why. Maybe they're scared to debate me. There's a lot of people who are scared to debate me on this topic. I'm assuming because they think they would lose. Opinion on oysters. Yeah, oysters is a complicated thing, right? There's arguments on both sides. Are they not sentient? We don't really know. I just err on the side of caution and assume they are sentient, and I don't actually eat them. I know some people, vegan people, will say that they are definitely sentient. I don't have conclusive evidence that they are, and I've been looking into it a lot, and it's still inconclusive. You could argue that they do have a subjective experience. I don't know. If they do, then definitely no. If they don't, then I don't think it matters. And knowing that they might, that's the whole opinion, right? Knowing that they might be sentient, that they might have a subjective experience, is good enough for me to leave them off my plate or never exploit them. What about fish? Fish definitely have a subjective experience of the world. Fish definitely are sentient. You should not be exploiting or slaughtering fish. Random Guy 775, can we email? Random Guy 775, if you want to drop your email in the comments, sure. I don't know what to tell you. I don't think my email is anywhere there. You can also try and contact me on Discord. My handle is Vegan Power Lab. David B, $10. Thank you so much, David. I appreciate you for the sticker. Chance, you're right. Clearly, it's not helped with aging. Wow, 30. What? Chance, you're right. Wow, this sentence is so bad. Clearly, it's not helped with aging. Wow, 37. What? What does any of that mean? Do you think, first of all, you see me now that I'm sick and you judge me based on that, number one. Number two, I've been vegan for 3 years. So if anything, if I look old, that might be because I wasn't.
Hello.
Hi.
What's happening here?
I just asked people some questions. Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Of course.
Yeah,
Hello.
What's your name?
Java, nice to meet you.
Java, nice to meet you. I'm Chip. How about you?
My name is Sabir.
Saber. Okay, I'll turn this around a little bit so that everybody can see you guys. So let me ask you, how do you guys know who Superman is? I saw that you have this Batman
Yeah, I
t-shirt.
do know.
Of course we know him.
One of the
Okay.
greatest superheroes of all time.
He is the gist of our time.
Okay, let me put it this
Okay,
way.
that's-
Superman has power over every individual on this planet, correct?
Yes.
If Superman
Sort
were
of,
to
yes.
choose one person on this planet that he would want to oppress, that means be cruel and unjust towards them, he could do it, right?
Yes.
And he
could.
would have no repercussions because he has power over everybody, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Except for Batman, obviously, because Batman would have kryptonite against him.
Fair enough. Let's assume that there's a world where there's no kryptonite and he has
Okay,
this.
let's
okay,
assume
deal.
that.
Okay.
Superman without weaknesses.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So would it be moral for Superman to do that, to oppress an innocent sentient being, a human being? on
Without
this
a
planet?
reason?
Well, just because he gets pleasure from doing it.
No, he cannot do it.
No.
It really depends on what you define as morals, because here's the thing.
Well, up to you.
Yes, because we as a human race have evolved our own moral codes. So we stand by it, and anyone who gets out of it, who does something out of it, is immediately considered evil,
Nah.
immoral, and shut up. And here's the thing, right?
I love
For
the
ex-
dynamic.
in any other alien planet, there is nothing that would force them to have the same moral code as us.
No, but I'm asking about your values. Would it be, according to your own values, would it be moral if Superman were to be kidnapping one human being and enslaving them or exploiting them?
Well, no, actually, for multiple reasons. But what I'm saying is, if Superman was raised in Krypton, and if Krypton's moral codes allowed him to do that, for him it would be moral. But
For
for
him
us,
it would be
wouldn't.
moral, right?
Yes, exactly.
That's
For
biased
us, it
moral.
wouldn't.
But would you consider his action of kidnapping somebody moral?
Obviously not. I mean, that's going against
Even if he
basic
thinks
decency.
even if he thinks it's moral, right?
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. Okay, so I'll just dive into some a little bit of quick questions. What if this person doesn't realize it? Superman does it so fast, he kidnaps them, snaps their neck, and
Still,
instantly.
that's actually evil. The issue is Superman has to treat people as he wants to be treated. My friend was talking about morals, about the code of moral our society have made, but that's not true. Oh, sorry. The thing is, we have only one rule: treat everyone as you want to be treated. So I don't think Superman wants to be killed, oppressed, kidnapped.
But he's a different species than us.
Yeah, but
But he was raised
socially,
on Earth.
socially, culturally, he's the same.
Culture, he's the same. But,
Yes.
But he's a different species than us.
It doesn't matter, just biology, and actually their biology is quite similar to humans. So it's a very minor difference.
That actually is kind of what Superman's character is based on, and that's why it clashes with Batman so much, because Superman is technically a god that became human. Like he has human values because he was raised on Earth, and Batman is kind of the opposite because he's a human who fights gods, who reaches a godlike level. Like, I mean, he 1v1's dark side, so you know what I'm saying. You know?
Non-canon.
Shut up.
I guess you guys can definitely discuss superheroes. I know a little bit about Batman. I don't know a lot about. I know a lot about Superman. I was a big Superman fan when I was younger, but. The reason why I asked this question, right, because it's obviously it wouldn't be moral if Superman did it, right?
Yes,
so
obviously.
I'm just like, I'm trying to understand, okay, he's a different species, he has power over us, but if we were to turn it around and ask, do you think that then should we be able to do this, should we be allowed to do this? Would it be moral if we did this to animals, since we have power over them? We could do it, they wouldn't realize it, all this kind of stuff?
That is an interesting question. I actually have a very good answer to it. Here's the thing. Superman isn't just a different species. He is a species that has evolved out of planet Earth. So we evolved in planet Earth, and we have evolved in an ecosystem that lives with those animals. So obviously, there are a lot of arguments against animal cruelty, which I don't think animal cruelty is right.
Are you against cruelty of animals?
Yes, I don't think that you should just go ahead and beat up a dog just because you can.
What about cutting their throat? Just because you can.
That is also not.
What if you eat them afterwards?
I have a different answer for that. A
Okay,
Buddhist
go
answer.
ahead. I'll answer.
The thing is,
I'll
I'm currently
answer
researching
later.
Buddhism, and I actually want to convert to Buddhism in a while.
Yeah.
And Buddhism gives one answer. In Buddhism, there are no rules. You don't have to follow anything. But you have only one goal, and it's like to become Buddha, to reach Nirvana. And there are things which you do which make you closer to that. And if you eat meat, it distances you from your goal. If you don't eat meat, like you vow to save all life you can. Even the flower, even the grass, even the ants, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Any life. So you're closer to your goal to becoming a Buddha. That's why from the side of Buddhism, not eating meat is much better. But eating it doesn't make you like a sinner kinda, but it's still better not to eat it.
Yeah. So, but like, cause I wanna. Okay, that's an interesting point of view, and we can go down that road. But I want to understand this moral point of view, right? Because if Superman was to be doing this to a human being, right, kidnapping them, cutting their throat, and eating them afterwards, you would find it immoral because he can always choose to eat something else. If we did the same thing to animals, we can also choose to do something, to eat something else. How is that moral?
Now, first of all, I think that technically that analogy isn't super correct because here's the thing. Superman, he doesn't necessarily need to kill or eat humans.
We also don't need to kill or eat animals.
There are a lot of ways, a lot of things that we get from animals, and obviously you can get
He
protein
could
from
also
other
get
things.
a lot of ways from humans, from killing and eating humans. You said need. We don't need to do that. Superman doesn't need to do it. Would he benefit from it? Yes. Would we benefit from it? Yes.
Okay, I am terribly sorry,
there
but
also
yeah,
about it?
our parents, my parents are calling us.
Yeah,
We
that's
really
okay.
have to
That's
go
okay.
right
Like,
now.
if there's no need for it, I would say it's cruel, and you can't be cruel. You can't say you're against cruelty towards animal, and just choose to cut their throat for something you don't actually need.
I can just give a one short answer.
Yeah.
I actually believe that non-eating meat, as my dad said, requires some certain level of cultural development. But sadly, currently I don't have it, and like I don't have enough force of will to like stop eating meat. However, I really believe that not eating it is better than eating it.
Well, it's not. I understand it requires some form of power or anything because you've been brought up in a society where it seems normal to exploit and slaughter animals. But if you were brought up 200 years ago in a society where slavery was normal, wouldn't you say you had the moral obligation to stand up against slavery?
You had to stand up against it. That's a
Yeah, because it was an injustice.
yes.
So why not stand up against this other injustice that we do to animals?
Are they conscious?
They are, yeah. Animals are conscious, yeah.
How?
They are sentient. They are conscious. There's a declaration. There's the Cambridge Declaration
I'm
of
gonna
Consciousness.
I'm gonna be back in a second.
There's the Cambridge Declaration of Consciousness and the New York Declaration of Consciousness, and both of them that are written by Nobel laureates and other scientists. and both of them mention that animals are sentient.
But where is the line between being sentient and being non-sentient? Where can we find the line between being sentient and non-sentient?
I mean, if you don't have a subjective experience of the world, that is, you don't go through life and experience what you're seeing, you don't have emotions towards what you're seeing, who you're meeting, and all this kind of stuff, then I would say you're not sentient. But if you do, you are, and all these animals are.
But certain animals don't have like brains. I see them medusas. Can we eat them?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I'm not sure if medusas are sentient, but it's all about sentience. If they're not sentient, then I don't have a problem.
But we need a certain line to draw. We understand who is sentient, who is not sentient.
Well, definitely cows, chickens, and pigs are sentient. Definitely most fish are sentient.
Okay.
So I would say it's not about finding who's not sentient. It's about knowing plants, for example, are not sentient, and animals are sentient. So we know for a fact that we in this society, our choices are between eating plants and eating animals. We don't have the choice between eating medusas. If we did, I would have to look it up and understand what that point is. But our choices is between eating animal products or plant-based products. And we know for a fact that one is coming from exploiting and slaughtering sentient beings and one from non-sentient beings.
Actually, you have a good point, and one day I can actually disregard the meat, but however, we really have to go. I'm sorry. His parents are calling us. We have to run. And
Sure.
can we have Instagram account's name?
Yeah, let me give you a card.
Please.
Do I give you one card?
Yeah, one card for both of
Yeah,
us.
you have my YouTube channel there also.
I will
And
follow it.
can you promise me you'll watch the most important speech you'll ever hear?
Yes, I will watch it.
Okay, that's it. Just to kind of learn about all of the practice. You might be surprised that you are really not okay with all the things they do to animals. Because I thought that same as you guys did, but I realized I'm really not okay with what they do. And then the more you look into it, the worse it gets. Just watch that video and you get the bare minimum.
Have a
You
nice
get
day.
informed, okay?
This was really interesting to
Okay.
talk
Good
about.
luck.
Cheers. Have a good one. That's it, everybody. I think I'm done. No, I don't want to continue. It's enough conversations. We're not gonna have a. We've just had a day like that today, huh? Hey Chip, please tell us the top 3 health benefits of being vegan, says Julia. It doesn't really matter. Please tell us the top 3 health benefits of being a feminist. Well, number 1, you don't get to exploit women, right? That's number 1. You get to give equal rights and opportunities to women. There's not health benefits. It's not about what is good for you. It's about the fact that you are not exploiting and slaughtering those innocent sentient beings. But I'll give you that. You know what? I'll give you health benefits of a plant-based diet, which is a conclusion, which is a consequence of being vegan, okay? And the benefits of a plant-based diet is 1, your diet will mostly be consistent with low saturated fat, which means your incidence of heart disease, your risk of heart disease will be low. That's number 1. You don't have to trust me on this, look it up. Number 2, your gut microbiome will be much healthier because you will be eating more fiber. Of course, there's ways you can be plant-based and unhealthy, but I'm talking about a moderately healthy plant-based person, right? Not one who only eats whole food plant-based diet, and not one who only eats processed food, but somewhere in the middle, right? That's what I mean. Like kind of like how I am. I mostly eat whole foods, but sometimes I eat processed foods also, because we're human, right? So yeah, you're going to be getting more fiber, therefore your gut microbiome will be better. Any other benefits? Well, I'll tell you what, you have a higher chance of getting more protein, low calories, so you will have a higher chance of being fit. I don't know what to tell you. There's a lot of other health benefits. Let me think about a plant-based diet. Well, so we tackle the heart disease. We tackle the well, obviously, you know, like if you have a less cholesterol flowing through your blood, or less, let me put it this way, bad cholesterol flowing through your blood, you will also have, you know, better sexual encounters because, you know, your penis's arousals is all about blood and how much blood you can pump, so it will be better for that. In the gym, I have noticed my performance be better since I've been vegan. I have noticed that I have more resilience. My muscle repair happens faster. I go every day to the gym and I don't have muscle pains. There's days when I do, but those are days when, like, if I'm sick or something like that, that's a different thing, right? So yeah, there's a lot of benefits, but It's not about the benefits that we get. You know, that's the whole thing. It's not. It's about respecting their rights. It's about saying, well, you know what? I wouldn't want somebody to cut my head and chop me into pieces just because they want to make a sandwich from my flesh. Sure, they could choose anything else, but they're choosing to oppress me. I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that happening to me. So I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't do that to anybody else, right? So there is this strong moral value to veganism. Well, veganism is about morality. But if you want to see veganism as a diet, you know, I'm at this point in time, I'm like, it's not. Veganism is not. And I don't want to say that it is. No, no. I refuse to cave into that. No. It's a plant-based diet, okay? It's a plant-based diet. And if you ever want to adopt a plant-based diet, yes, there are benefits for it. There are benefits for the environment, benefits for you. And the biggest benefit is, again, you're no longer supporting needless animal exploitation, slaughter, abuse. You're basically respecting animals. Yeah, remember to like. That's true. Thank you, Pia. Remember to like and subscribe if you're enjoying these conversations. I'm not going to talk about abortion. I talk about abortion almost every day. It's so, I just, if anybody wants to debate me on abortion, I can also debate you on abortion. There's no problem. My position on abortion is just as morally consistent as my position on animal rights. I am definitely being morally consistent. Don't worry about it. I'm a person who every single day thinks about moral consistency. Every single day I challenge myself and I try to be better. That's what I do. That's what I think life is worth. That's the only thing that I think in life is worth it. I'm not saying this to think highly of myself. I don't think I am. I think I make a lot of mistakes along the way. But I'm just saying I think about this a lot. And yes, I am morally consistent about abortion, and I don't want to talk about abortion today. It's a day where I really want to give it all to the animals, okay? It's enough. We have to discuss a little bit animals, okay? We have to consider them morally. Not the minute that we talk about animal rights, we have to bring it all of a sudden to human rights. Well, wait a minute, what about humans? Well, it's not. And if your intent is not to bring it to humans, but rather to see if I'm being morally consistent, why the hell does that matter? My argument is not contingent on me being morally consistent in other areas of my life, is it? My argument that animals should not be exploited or slaughtered for optional products is not contingent on whether I am consistent with these values in other aspects of my life. It is not. I may not be consistent in other facets of my life. That doesn't mean that my argument is not correct. So I'm just saying, number one. Number two, I am pretty much morally consistent with it because, you know, when you become vegan, you do think about the moral consistency, about, well, sentience and sentient beings. And yeah, you do take into consideration all these other things. If you want to ask me about animal rights, I'll respond to animal rights. If you want to ask me about abortion, I will not respond about abortion today. Come back another time and I will respond about abortion, no problem, but not today, okay? Come back, subscribe, and I'll be live maybe tomorrow also, maybe the next day. So if you really are curious. Somebody wants to debate me, I see. Who wants to debate me? Who wants to debate me? I'll debate anybody on abortion and animal rights. No problem. I have no problem debating people on abortion or animal rights. Oh, K9 says Cavern. K9, I hope you do. You know, so many people say they want to debate me, but then they chicken out. So K9, if you want to debate me, that's easy. Contact me on Instagram. My handle is RealChipGuy. You may also see it in the description of this video, if I'm not mistaken. Send me a private message. I will look it up. I will send you a link. You turn on your camera, you turn on your microphone, and we debate, no problem, live. I don't have a problem. Debate me. Since you obviously think you can beat me, no issues, then come, debate me. Spiff says, oh, never mind Insta. Okay, well, you can also contact me on Discord. My handle is Vegan Power Lab. One word, Vegan Power Lab. So contact me on Discord then. We can set it up. Same thing. I send you a link, you turn on your camera and your microphone, and we debate. Easy peasy. If you put your email somewhere in the chat here, I'm not gonna see it because I'm not gonna buy and go buy it later and look at my video and read everything that you have written, okay? So K9, if you want to debate me, I told you, contact me on Discord or contact me on Instagram. I'm not gonna look up, like I literally see 4 messages going like this in the chat. I'm not gonna be looking up your particular message where it is. Or they can leave it after the stream. Yeah, K9, or leave it after the stream. K9, I told you, contact me. I cannot contact you, okay? I cannot write it down. I have no phone. You see, my phone is there. You see it? It's right there. So K9, don't be stupid, okay? Don't think a little bit logically, okay? I'm in a position where I cannot possibly take your contact details. So please write your contact details and put them in a comment when this ends, okay? I will end in a couple of minutes. Put them in that contact detail, okay? Put them there. It's easy peasy, okay? Screenshot. Okay, fine, I'll screenshot it. Write your email now and I'll screenshot it. Come on. Jesus Christ, man, such childish people, I swear to God. Come on, K9. You want to debate me? Put your email there. I send you a link in 10 minutes. Well, 10, 15 minutes, I don't know, when I get home. Now you're not putting your link in I'm waiting for... God, I hate people sometimes. K9, did you chicken out? What's your opinion on giving responsibilities to animals based on cognitive function and ability, like the monkey that worked at railroad for decades? Giving responsibilities to animals. I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming that even those animals cannot possibly consent to having responsibilities. So I don't think if they cannot consent to being responsible for something that we should assign them as responsible for something. That would still be oppressive in my opinion. Okay, so K9 has chickened out. Okay, anybody else wants to debate me? Oh my God. God, I hate it. I hate it when I have to do this. I hate it. You know, if anybody wants to debate me, I have no problem. It's just this whole interaction where I have to say, well, does anybody want to debate me? You want to debate me? Contact me. I tell you how to contact me, and you're like, well, but I put it in my email there. Like, this whole interaction is so childish. I don't want to have this interaction. I never thought about doing a screenshot. I'll do a screenshot if you type your email there, but I see you're not typing your email there, so yeah, there you go. Spiff, you wanted to debate me? Type your email here, whatever. Jesus Christ. 35-year-old man with a Rick and Morty hat. First of all, 37-year-old man, thank you. And with a Rick and Morty hat, yes. Do you think that because I listen to my inner child? K9, I cannot see it, K9. If you're sending it, YouTube is probably not showing it. So K9, there you go. You say stop ignoring it. You keep seeing me that I say here that I don't see anything. I would have taken a snapshot of it. So better yet, since I cannot see it here, contact me on fucking Discord or Instagram or leave a fucking comment after this. This is pissing me off already. And I really don't like being pissed off, okay? So let me just I'll blow my nose afterwards. I'll just end the stream because it's ridiculous. It's been a ridiculous ending of the stream. Has anyone, Moonrise Studios, has anyone else seen their email? Has anyone seen their email? No. Okay, well, K9, thank you for being a coward and not willing to debate me. And saying that you are sending your email in a chat where clearly it's not, and you don't want to contact me. Julia says, Chip, don't get aggressive, please. Why, Julia? I think if I remember correctly, Julia, you were somebody who chooses to buy animal products. Julia, are you vegan, Julia? Okay, you said it's at Gmail. I saw that now, K9. Titleist0813 at Gmail, I'm guessing. Okay. I'll send you an email. Julia, you said just curious to ask questions. The only reason why I ask if you're vegan, Julia, is because you said don't be aggressive. You said you probably don't like aggression. You probably don't like violence. And let me tell you right here, Julia, this, if you're buying animal products, this is what you're paying for, Julia. Don't be that person, Julia. Come on, be a nice person. Be a decent person. Don't exploit these innocent animals. Come on, they deserve better. They don't deserve this. They don't. They really don't deserve this, okay? They deserve moral consideration. Okay? They don't deserve any of this. They don't. This? Oh, you said you're vegan. Okay, thank you, Julia. I'm sorry then for being that a bit confrontational. I never know who isn't vegan, and I don't mean to be confrontational towards people who already are respecting animals. But because you can see in the chat, there's a lot of people who are being disrespectful towards the idea of, well, how can I possibly respect animals? Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. And thank you for the super sticker. I forgot who sent it, but I appreciate you for sending it. The conversations were in a different place. We're in the best. Oh, I see, Julia. I'm sorry, Julia. Chat is crazy. I just asked to inspire. I'm sorry, Julia. I didn't mean to be a dick to you. I didn't mean to do that. Chat, the truth is, I woke up with a big headache today because of this sinus infection that I have, and it hasn't been the best day. Let's just put it this way. But that's okay. I still came here. I still want to speak up for animals, and I still appreciate you being here. Okay. Moonrise today says, long-time fan, can I have an autograph? For sure. Ivan asks me, are you married? No, I am not married. No, I don't actually believe in the idea of marriage. Here in the Netherlands, you can be just like a partner. You don't need marriage. It doesn't bring any extra value to it. Yeah, somebody said sinus infections suck. Yeah, they do. Sinus infection sucks, said Daniel Broccoli. They do. They do. It's just bad. Plants are alive, so what is the difference? Asks Spiff. The difference is sentience, Spiff. That means the capability to have a subjective experience of the world. Any cell on your body is alive, but you would have no problem killing a cell from your body. Killing a cell anywhere, a bacteria, you kill bacteria every day. Alive doesn't mean sentience, You gotta ask yourself, what is the difference between a bacteria and the dog? The bacteria and yourself, they're both alive, aren't they? The difference is that one is sentient. That means they have a capability for feelings, for emotions, and for a subjective experience of the world, and the other doesn't. That's why. Space Money asked me, do you have kids? I do not have kids, no. And I don't think that I want to have kids. K9 says fetus are sentient. Fetus are sentient after 22 weeks, K9. I think 18 to 24 weeks, that's when the fetus becomes sentient. Is your house made of wood? Your furniture? I don't think that it is, no. I don't know. Some of it. Wow, I get the weirdest question. I don't care about sentience, you all do. I care about humans. Yeah, I don't think that you do care about humans, K9. Trees aren't sentient? No, they're not. What is pescatarian? Pescatarian is somebody who disregards the sentience and subjective experience of fish, and they exploit and slaughter fish because they think it's somewhat better than anything else. K9, if you're gonna bring arguments like you're wrong, doesn't really mean anything. You gotta back it up with some empirical data. Jonas asks, maybe off topic, but do you take creatine? I do, yeah. You know what, actually, what I'm gonna do right now is, since everybody's asking me the random questions, oh my God, Daniel Broccoli, thank you so much. I'm gonna blow my nose. I'm gonna take my signs, and Let me show you around. It's a beautiful day today. I think I did that before. Do I take creatine? I do take creatine every day, yes. I've been taking creatine for like 3 days. For 3 days, sorry, for 3 years. Can we get a Q&A sometime? Asks Moonrise Studios. Oh my God, Veganosaurus, thank you so much. Oh my God, everybody with the donations, thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you. How do you feel about deforestation? Your house has wood, no? Spiff, the wood that is grown for furniture is not coming from deforestation. The largest deforestation is done by animal agriculture. FYI, the wood that is grown for furniture is wood that is specifically grown for that purpose, by the way. Somebody says this is such a waste for my phone battery. Then you can, you have no obligation to be here. I respect you being here, but you have no obligation. Okay. Let me get everything. Let me watch out. My sound is gonna sound a little bit weird because I'm gonna take this off, okay? Can you guys hear me okay? K9, you claiming that trees are sentient, as I told you, means nothing if you don't bring empirical evidence to the table. And no, trees are not sentient, imagine that. And even if you think that plants are sentient somehow, it would still be morally preferable to be vegan. You know why? Because when you're vegan, you kill less plants in the end, so still, logically. Okay, let me see, how should I do this? Let me take an educated look on how I should do this in the best way possible. Okay. Okay. The sound, yet again, I'm sorry about the sound. It will be a bit messed up, okay? I will have to disconnect something and connect it back again. Okay, give me 1 second. How are you guys hearing me now with the sign? Is that DJI mic? No, it is not DJI mic. It is wireless, Rode wireless. Sound okay. Perfect, perfect. Okay, so we did the first thing. Sorry, everybody. You're just looking at how you're just looking at how I usually do things. This is how I usually do things. I'm a person who likes to think 3 times before I do a thing, and then I actually do it. So you're witnessing my thinking in process. My thinking in process is because when I say, well, you're just witnessing my. Well, you're just witnessing the way I think, I guess, in process, whatever. I'm tired. Don't judge everything I say. The funny thing is that even when I'm tired, I could debate veganism because it's such an easy thing to debate. A lot of the times we forget just how logical and easy it is and how much it makes sense. Because you know what? The definition of veganism literally says you should reject animal exploitation as much as it's possible and practicable. So, yeah, there's no logical argument against it. You should do trans rights streams in places like the US. I'd love to Moonrise Studios. Unfortunately, the US is a little bit of a bad situation right now. Oh shit, I just remembered I have something specifically for this. Sorry, everybody. I keep messing with this. The US is a particularly special situation right now, and it's extremely expensive to go there. Yeah, it's. Let me see if I can put this in the right way. Can you guys hear me now? I put it on my cap. How's the sound now? Yes. Okay. Give me 1 second. Sorry, everybody. I'm trying to put you on this thing. Is sound still okay? I have a selfie stick. Just remember that. Okay. So let me put this away. You're gonna come down with me. It's nice that you can hear me if I put it on my cap there. Damn it. Sorry, everybody. You know what? I'm gonna put you down for a second, okay? I'm sorry. I keep saying that's why I don't do this often, because it's difficult, not for any other reason. Okay, everybody. Let's go around Amsterdam a little bit. I'll show you a little bit. If not, why not? Audio's okay? Love it. Okay. Let's walk in the other direction. We always walk, I always have shown you. This is kind of where Museumplein is in the back. But let's walk a little bit on this other part. And I can show you kind of the beautiful Amsterdam. And I'll actually turn the camera around so you've seen enough of me, and now you just see kind of what I see. This is Rijksmuseum, and we're just walking through it. And there's a bike path right in the middle of it. It's kind of nice. It's kind of cool. Julia asked me, Chip, how are you really doing? I'm pretty tired, Julia, really. That's how I'm really doing. I'm pretty tired. Probably from this viral infection that I've had for a couple of weeks now. And as you go through the museum, you see bikes can go through the museum. Peg says I was there in 2019. It's very nice, yeah. And as you're walking through the museum, first of all, it's very pretty, the museum itself. And then on the left, you can see the inside of the museum. Yeah, it is a really big museum. Harry Potter music, yeah. There's somebody who's playing the accordion with Harry Potter, that's why. I'm gonna turn around because there's a little bit of that's it. There was a little bit of wind, and I didn't want to bother you with that. But yeah, let's walk a little bit through the streets. I'm gonna show you a little bit. I don't know if you guys want to see this. If you want to stick around to see a little bit of this. I don't know. Why not? Let's show you a little bit of Amsterdam. The infrastructure, as you can see, has bike lanes like this everywhere. That's the beauty of Amsterdam, if you ask me. And of course, there's also cars. But the nicest thing to be in Amsterdam is to be on a bike. And as you can see, a lot of people are biking everywhere. I also came here by bike, of course. Because by car, as you see, look at the cars. This is the cars, and this is the bike lane, where you see it right here. It sucks to be in a car in Amsterdam. It really does suck. Somebody says accordion is so freaking cool. I never thought accordions are cool, to be honest. Accordion is a very typical instrument in Romania. And yeah, I never thought it was cool. It's also particularly busy by the way. Normally it's not this busy. Can you guys still hear me okay? I know there's a little bit of wind coming into the microphone. This is like a bike street. It's a street where bikes are the primary user and cars are invited. So bikes have priority and cars don't. Yeah, I can hear fine, perfect. Okay. And I think this is one of those intersections where if you watch the YouTube channel Not Just Bikes, this intersection right here was where he filmed everything. He filmed how productive this intersection is, because just how many people go in and out of that intersection. It's very interesting. Healthy culture. Yeah, I would say Dutch culture is a pretty healthy culture. Where is the best vegan food in Amsterdam? You know what, actually, everybody, if you're sticking around with me, let's go get some vegan food. Why not? We're here in Amsterdam, let's get some nice vegan food. This is a really nice canal. Of course, Amsterdam is full of canals. This is another place where we normally sit and do outreach. I don't know if you guys remember. We sometimes sit here and do outreach. It's quite pretty. And now we're gonna go towards the center. There's gonna be a lot of people in the center. And if I'm not mistaken, there is a really nice vegan restaurant there. And we're gonna have some good food there. Somebody said if you do gym streams there, I'd watch that. I want to do gym streams. I'm looking for a way to do it. I think it would be cool indeed to do some gym streams. Yeah. Vegan sushi today, asks Lewis. No, we're gonna go get some vegan shawarma. It's freaking awesome. It's freaking delicious. Well, actually, I don't know if I'm gonna get it, but let's go there. Why not? Let's just walk around that list a little bit. It feels kind of weird to just stay on the stream while I eat the shawarma and you guys just watch or something, you know? But maybe we do that. Why not? Maybe I get a shawarma, I sit by a nice canal, and we do something. Let me turn it around. It's not that interesting now. Sorry. Yeah. So a lot of people, yes, a lot of people indeed. But this is the beauty of Amsterdam, you know. I mean, I think this is the center of Amsterdam actually. So normally on the streets where I live or where people live, it's not this crowded, of course, you know. And I live in a pretty central location myself. I live in the Pipe, where there's a lot of people there also, but it's not like here in the center. Here it's just full of tourists. Good night, stay angry, love to all. Spiff, watch the 3-minute video in my description, in the description here. Chip, what time in Amsterdam now? It is 5:40. I have severe GAD. I can't imagine being around that many people. I also don't like being around people. I get it, Moonrise Studios. It's pretty difficult. Chip guy, what is this trip? Stop being this dumb. You're in Amsterdam. No fam, you get Sam. I don't know what that means. I literally don't know what that means. But you know what? Everybody, while we're walking, why don't we discuss a little bit of the animal ethics? Maybe some people here watching this beautiful Amsterdam and watching me walk through beautiful Amsterdam are not vegan. And let me ask you this, why is it that you guys are not vegan? How can we morally justify exploiting and slaughtering innocent animals for optional products, huh? Every restaurant here, let's look it up actually. We're passing by a restaurant that is not vegan. Okay, let's see if they have any vegan options. Yeah, they have champignon, they have hummus, they have focaccia. Oh, they have some pasta. And they don't even have a vegan sign on them. So if you look at it, you still see vegan options. Just saying, there's vegan options everywhere. This isn't even a good restaurant, to be honest. It's not even a vegan-friendly restaurant. But it's so easy to be vegan in Amsterdam that it's kind of ridiculous to not be, huh? Let me show you something cool that I just saw for the first time now. So I'm gonna go get... So I'm walking down the street and I look on top of that, I don't know if you can see, on top of that building over there. So we're gonna go to this pink sign that says Karma Kebab. That's the Amsterdam, that's the vegan place. And on top there, there's a couple of singers. I've never seen that before. But yeah, okay, let's get the shawarma. I hope nobody minds that I'm filming myself while I'm... Hi. Is it okay that I'm live now? I'm trying not to, there's no people here or everything. Okay. Okay. Can I get a classic lowlander?
Of course. Would you like some fries with that and a drink?
No, just that. I'll take it to go because I'll maybe be sitting by the canal or something.
Yeah, it's really sunny today.
Yeah.
Classic pizza.
Sure. Is it okay if I show the menus to people? Yeah, let me show you the menus, guys. Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Everything is vegan, right?
Everything is vegan.
Everything is vegan, perfect. So you see, this is what I got, the classic lowlander. It's gonna be delicious. The gado gado is also nice. I've had it before. Flaming bug was also nice. A lot of good food. What we're gonna get for the, we're gonna wait for the, oh, sorry, it's back. We're gonna wait for the shawarma to be done, and then we're gonna be sitting a little bit by the canal and eat it together. If you guys have some food, let's do that together, why not? We're having dinner together today, or lunch, whatever that is for you guys. Loaded fries sounds good right now. I never know how fries are, that's the problem. But it is... I wasn't planning on doing this, by the way, but here we are. I do actually have food with me right now, says Moonrise Studios. Perfect. Perfect. Let's have it together, Moonrise Studios. We're eating together right now. But wait for my food. Don't wait. What is the shawarma made from? It's a good question. I'm assuming some soy.
Do you want to find out, or do you want?
Yeah. What is the shawarma made of?
It's made out of celery.
Are you keeping live from my YouTube channel, by the way?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, go on.
It's made out of celeriac.
Celeriac,
And
interesting.
gluten.
And gluten. Oh, so
Yeah.
it's like made of seitan.
Yeah, it's kind of similar. The process is kind of similar. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
And it's very good. There's a lot of people who didn't know it wasn't meat, and then afterwards came back like, "Whoa, I heard this was vegan." How?
And you guys are in Utrecht also, right?
Yes, and
Yeah.
there's a bigger restaurant.
Yeah, I've been to Utrecht, and I know you have this. You have pool and all these cool stuff there. It's
there's
so
a lot
nice.
of cool stuff going on in the UK.
Yeah. This
We
is
also go to festivals a lot.
You go to festivals a lot also? Oh, it's like with the food truck. Yeah, that's cool. That's
That's
cool.
how it started. Yeah.
Would you like to try a snack like a bitterball? It's very typical Dutch. Also.
I know bitterball. I don't want a snack. No, thank you. It's fine. It's fine. Just that. It's good.
Cauliflower bed?
No, I'm good. Thank you so much, though. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, my vegan world says, ask her if it's made with wheat gluten. I think it is made with wheat gluten. It's made with wheat gluten, right?
Is it wheat gluten? Yes.
Yeah. With gluten. Yeah, of course, processed food is optional, of course, but if we can enjoy it from time to time, why not? John Cowtax says, love the tour. Yeah, we don't do this often, huh? I was thinking at some point of doing this where we're just walking around Amsterdam a little bit afterwards, and I guess we'll do that today. My vegan well says, I try to do more whole foods vegan. Myself too, but sometimes, you know, you can't be perfect. You gotta eat a little bit of something you enjoy without thinking, oh, is it healthy or not, you know? Alex Parkinson says, hello, vegan people. I love you all. Hey, Alex, nice to see you here. Alex, if you just drop by, we're waiting on a vegan shawarma. We're at a nice vegan place in Amsterdam. It is called Karma Kebab. Delicious food. Julia asks, do you think it's harder to be vegan than meat eater, and why? I think both of them, to be honest, here, they're kind of easy. It's just a matter of where your values lie. Spiff said, I saw the video. I think while the conditions are awful, the chicken are killed in a way that is quick and hopefully painless. Have a good night or day to everyone. Spiff, it's not painless. And it's not, you know, the reason why we wouldn't want it, the reason why we want it to be painless is because we don't want them to suffer or to, you know, we know that suffering feels bad and we wouldn't want that to happen. But then you gotta ask yourself, wouldn't death be bad also? Because we wouldn't want that to happen? Why is it only suffering that we don't want it to happen? Very pretty color inside. Yeah, it's pretty nice, right? Kind of like pink. Reminds me of New York City, by the way, this place. It's like a very typical New York City place. And make a positive comment and Fanatics Vegans Challenge. This got me real hungry, so I've got to go to my kitchen and cook myself a vegan stir fry. Hell yeah, cook that. It's almost done. Everything is small in New York City. I agree. The places, but that's kind of nice, right? They're a little bit cozy. It's a little bit of a cozy atmosphere. You sit in a place there and you're like, oh, that's so good.
Just over here is amazing. Thank you so much.
Please spread kindness in the chat. Let's not let negativity take over. I'm getting hungry, by the way. Julia, grab something to eat. Let's eat together. Would you consider yourself a hard determinist and existentialist? Monorail Studios. I don't know if I know exactly what all those terms mean. Is determinism the moral philosophy where you think that there is no choice that you have in matter? I am an existential. I'm an existential nihilist. Actually, I don't think there's any meaning to anything, but that we provide meaning to things. And deterministic. I don't know if the universe is deterministic. I think there is some form of determinism involved in the choices that we're making, but I don't think they're inherently deterministic. Not no choice, but no free will, predetermined by cause and effect, says Monroe Studios. To some extent, isn't it? It is to some extent that way. But I gotta believe that there is some form of free will. That's kind of how our brain is created, right? It's kind of how our brain works. Chip, I commented that this approach is a much better way than confronting random people with fallacious comparisons and challenging morals. Yeah, John Partridge, if you're not vegan, it's hard to take you seriously. What is the better approach? Because how would you know what the best approach to getting people to go vegan is if you're not vegan yourself? See, it doesn't really make sense. I believe in the health benefits of vegetables. There's definitely a lot of health benefits for that, yeah. Nice. Okay. I'll get this. Okay, we got the food. Let's go. Thank you. Bye. Oop. Okay, everybody, that's it. Let's go eat this on the canal. But you have to give me a second. Let me, because I'm not. Okay. We're going, okay. John Partridge says this was a positive suggestion. Thank you, John Partridge. I don't know exactly what you mean, by the way. Do you mean like just showing people how vegan food is like? Because if you mean that, sure, I agree with you. It's nice to also do that. But we also got to challenge people a little bit on their choices, on what it is that they're doing, because veganism is about morals. You know, it is about respecting animals morally. You know, it's about acknowledging that you have a choice in the matter, they don't, and that when you choose for them to get exploited, you're, well, choosing against their well-being, and they're beings who deserve moral consideration. That means they deserve for you to consider their well-being when your actions impact them. Well, John Partridge, I agree that that's another form of activism. I don't think one is better than the other. I don't agree with the idea that one activism is better than the other. I think to each their own. I think there's people who react well to certain forms of activism. Like there's people who even react well to people challenging them. I've had vegan activists at We the Free who became vegan because somebody challenged them and told them that what they believe is not true. And I've had people who became vegan because vegans were nice to them, simply like that. So it doesn't really matter, you know, you can be nice, you can be mean, but every person kind of requires a slightly different way of approaching it, right? That's why I think all of it is valid. My personal approach is trying to be completely honest with people, because I feel like if I would try to be nice to you when instead I'm not actually being nice to you, it wouldn't be genuine. And I really think we should be genuine to people. I think that's very important in our approach. Okay. God damn it, I'm in the center. I really don't like the center. But I found a place in the sun. We're going to be sitting down. Let me see, how do I get there? Oh, I can get there from this other side. Okay. I'm gonna put my signs here. Okay. Okay. Okay, now let me see. So this is my view right now. I'm gonna put you down. It's gonna be a little bit weird. A little bit shaky, sorry about that. maybe let's see if I can somehow reverse this and show you both. Yeah, there you go. This is kind of nice. I can't see what you guys are typing, but well, I kind of want to see what you guys are typing, so we at least have a little bit of a conversation, right? Okay, so let me show you what I got, what vegan food actually is like. I got some sauce. This is some really good garlic sauce, if I'm not mistaken. Apparently they're famous for their garlic sauce. And put this here. This is the kebab. It's got a lot of veggies inside. I mean, I'm just gonna dive right into it. Looks, my mouth is kind of watering, but yeah. It's got some kimchi. I think this pink thing is kind of like a kimchi thing. But this is what she was talking about. See, it looks just like meat. It's very meaty and very nice. Nerds asked, did you buy enough for everyone? I don't normally eat out. I normally eat at home, of course, you know. But I thought it's interesting to show you, kind of like, I mean, look at this. Look how meaty it is. It's just so easy. Rate the food. Well, the way it started with that kimchi thing, not the best. Was that kimchi on their grass-fed? Funny. But now it's delicious with the kebab. Like look at this feeling. It's pretty nice. Elizabeth's YouTube channel asked me, what's your favorite food? Oh, that's an interesting question. How do you define favorite food? I think I really like potatoes. It's kind of weird. I really, really like potatoes. I'm one of those people. Air fried especially, like with some garlic sprinkled, like garlic spice on it. Oh, forget about it. That's delicious. Look how beautiful. It is beautiful, Rebecca, isn't it? You know, that's the thing. I feel like you gotta try and find a little bit of beauty in your life, right? Like, I don't know, like sure, Amsterdam is beautiful, I'll give you that. But you always can find a little bit of place of paradise for you yourself, right? You can just, and sometimes it's true that it's so convenient for us to just do the thing that we know how to do, that is easy for us to do. But it's so nice from time to time to just, you know, like, take a little bit out of your time like I did now, and I'm sorry about all the shaking and everything. But it's kind of nice to just go and sit somewhere, like I'm doing now by a canal, enjoy a little bit of the view, you know, some of the boats and everything, and just enjoy some food or something, you know. And especially if you're vegan, I think a lot of the times we forget that it's not always the easiest to be an animal rights activist, to be a vegan who really cares about animals, and to be surrounded by people who don't actually care, who don't actually want to change. It's difficult to be around that every day, you know. We put ourselves out there for them, for the animals, but it's not always easy. And if you can find 110 people watching, yeah. And if you can find like a place out of your life where you can just enjoy. It's kind of noisy here, by the way. I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's like there's trams going there. There's a lot of people around. It's not the best place, I'll give you that. Like, it looks really pretty from where you're at, but yeah. Are you allowed to paddle stand-up board? Yeah, you are for sure. Man, this is so good, by the way. This thing that she said that's made of celeriac, and seitan. I mean, look at this. Oop. It's really nice. It's very meaty, quite nice, and there's a lot of it. Like, look how full it is. Yeah. And I don't know. I was just trying to say that I think, you know, we gotta take time out of our busy life and out of our busy schedule and just from time to time enjoy life, you know? Just enjoy what we're doing. There's a little there's a little bird here. Hey, buddy. Let's see if I can show you. Do you see them? Oh yeah, you do see them. They were dragging a flower. Potatoes are the best. Yeah, I agreed. They're very good. Would you want to live on the canal? Do you know anyone who lives on the canal? I think the only reason why I wouldn't want to live on the canal is because of the touristy side of it, you know? You don't really want to... You don't want to be in a place where it's full of tourists and stuff, you know? I'm not sure if I should give them bread, by the way. I'm not sure if that's okay to do, but it is really... I feel kind of bad that I'm eating and they're like struggling. Are you gonna eat celeriac and stuff? Let's see. No, it's... Oh! Damn! Huh? I'm watching them try to eat one of these vegan meat things. I don't think they really like it. I'll give you something else. Leave that, that's okay. Just have the bread, that's fine. Yeah. I'm not gonna give them bread anymore because I'm not very sure if they are... Ah, damn. We give ducks bread all the time in UK. It's fine. I think it is fine for the ducks, but as far as I know, if you give them bread, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think their digestive system creates this bacteria that is actually quite bad for the water. Chip, why don't you try being like this all the time? Your message will be so much more well received. Thank you, I guess. A lot of people are saying that. You know, it's not to everybody who receives a message where they're like challenging something that they've been doing their whole life and trying to tell them that maybe it's not okay what you've been doing your whole life. To everybody who hears it, they're not going to enjoy it. They're just not going to enjoy it. That's the reality. There is a part of what we do as animal rights activists that some people will not like it. Nobody likes to be told that they're exploiting and slaughtering animals. Nobody likes to be told that something that they enjoy doing is actually quite harmful and quite bad for a lot of sentient beings. But I feel we gotta be honest with people, and I think people should value honesty a little bit more. I think even if you don't enjoy it, I think you should still value honesty a little bit more. Chip, I like you much more now. Someone I like, I will listen to. I love meat, but I like listening now, says Kevin. Okay, well, we can try. Sorry, a little bit of this came out from my mouth. We can try doing streams like this from time to time, where we just speak. I think that's also a key aspect of it, you know? I think like we gotta understand that at the core, we're all the same. We all have kind of the same issues, right? And we all have kind of the same desires. We all just want to be loved, have a good life, and all this kind of stuff. But I think that's what kind of drives my activism, in a sense that know that we're all the same is what drives it, because it's also acknowledging that, well, you know, if what I said matters, the fact that we love, that we want to live our life, that we want to feel good and all this kind of stuff, which we all do, right? Then if that's what matters in life, then we should definitely give moral considerations to animals also, because that's also how they feel. They also just want to live their life, find food, find love, procreate, and all that stuff like we do. And us having power over them and being able to exploit and slaughter them should not give us the right to do it just because we can. I'm just saying. That's it. And of course, a lot of people don't like to hear that, because something within them is telling them, well, am I participating in this? I'm feeling bad about it. But you know, I don't think the goal should be then you shouldn't want to hear it, but rather you should ask yourself what exactly makes you feel bad about it, and why is it that you don't want to hear it, right? I think we should be rational. If really is painful, then it's something we should change about it rather than be complacent with it. Exactly, very well put, Moonrise Studios. And by the way, Dracolone, shout out to you, because you were the first one to give the comments the last stream. Thank you for that. Julia says, I like this laid back chip. When I came here, he was very confrontational for a good reason, but I now feel more connected to this guy. More of this, please. Okay, it seems like everybody just wants more of this. This is the me who I am normally, you know? I'm just a regular guy who likes to speak about values and likes to challenge people from time to time. But I guess if you're on the receiving end of the challenge, or if you're seeing this confrontation, it doesn't really feel good about it. And I get that. But you know, I also have this thing where I challenge people on some of their logical beliefs just because I like challenging people, true. But I stop when I see people getting uncomfortable on those topics, because I don't see it as there's any benefit to doing it. But when it comes to animal rights and this kind of stuff, even if people get uncomfortable, sometimes you gotta continue, you know? Sadly, you gotta do it. We owe it to the animals to do it. We owe it to the animals to be honest with people. We owe it to them to fight our best. Is that gonna make us unpopular? Hell yeah, it is. It's so easy to be popular also, right? It's easy to be nice and give people what they want to see. But it's difficult to be honest and tell people what they need to hear. Tell people the honest truth. People don't like that. It's difficult. But just because something is difficult doesn't mean we shouldn't do it also, right? Peg says, I really wish my mom would listen to me. She won't change and try to eat plants more. She's overweight and high cholesterol. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Peg. That sucks. James said, lol, confrontation is part of the nature of changing / evolving. Exactly, it is part of it. We gotta acknowledge that. But I do acknowledge that also. Maybe if you only see me be confrontational, you kind of have this position on me that I'm a confrontational guy. And I think I kind of am, sorry. Kind of I wouldn't be honest if I wouldn't say I'm not confrontational. I'm a pretty confrontational person in general. But I don't want to be confrontational for no reason, you know? Being hated because you say the truth and defend the right thing sounds more respectable than being loved because you lie and oppress others. Draculum, that is an amazing way of putting it, yeah. Kindness down. Kindness town. I got my kids watching you now, says Johnny Vegan Seed. That's awesome, man. I don't know if your kids are vegan, but I hope if they are not, that they are considering it. I feel like whenever I hear somebody's watching me, I have this moral obligation to try and tell them, you know what, animals deserve moral consideration. The reality is there's other problems also in this world that we need to discuss. It kind of sucks. I was a pretty hardcore environmentalist before being vegan, and I thought it fucking sucks that I was born in a place where nobody really respects the environment. I don't know, man. We got a lot of problem in this world, and I think that if we only want to hear what we want to hear, then we're not going to be solving any of these problems. We need to hear the harsh truth, and sometimes that means being confrontational.
That's true, kindness town. Non-vegans always want to tell vegans how to advocate for animals. I find this to be disingenuous and unbelievable, and value of vegans' thoughts on this much more as they're honest and less biased. Exactly. Julia asks me what is my ethnicity. I'm Romanian, born in Romania. I was born there. And the funny thing is, I was born in a small town in Romania. But I think I was a really lucky person because where I was born, I had good teachers who taught me to think a little bit differently. I had teachers who taught me to question things. I had teachers who taught me about environmental changes from a young age. So yeah, I think being confrontational is healthy for encouraging change and outreach like that. But I think more personal content like this is better to connect with non-vegan viewers. Okay. Dark Moon says, you probably can't do even 5 push-ups. Hey, let's put it this way, Dark Moon. If I do 5 push-ups right now, are you gonna go vegan? Are we gonna have this deal? Are we gonna be a bit funny about it? By the way, I finished this. Sorry everybody, I'm gonna have to blow my nose again. I'm sorry, it's... You know, when you're sick, you realize, you forget just how nice it is to not be sick, huh? You forget just how nice it is to feel normal. I'm gonna try to be a bit silent, right? Sorry about that. Better. My power is like, Chip, you are so brave to face carnivores to help the animals. Yeah, thank you for that. I mean, I don't think I'm that brave, to be honest. I'm just like, you know, an average person. I'm not sitting there well if I sit like that. How was the food? It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I honestly didn't focus too much on that. I tried to focus a little bit on having a conversation with you guys. I feel like, you know, if you're tuning in and watching me say, it would be kind of weird for me to just be there and enjoying my food. I really kind of want to just interact with you guys here. Chip, I take back my "you look 50" comment. Sorry, I didn't know you were feeling ill. Plus, I was just being an ass, says Kevin. That's okay, man. That's okay. Don't worry. I don't take it personally. You know, the reality is I looked younger than my age up until like 12 years old or 14 years old. Then when puberty hit me, damn it, when puberty hit me, I looked way older. It's fucked up. I looked younger and then older. It's insane. That was my whole life. I don't know why. That was just me. That's what it is, man. But you can't, that's the thing, right? And that's what we need to remember. These aren't things that we choose about ourselves, how we look like, how we get older. Sure, I mean, obviously nutrition and your lifestyle will impact how you look. But it doesn't really do that much. How old are you? Ask me, Julia. I'm 37. It doesn't really impact that much, right? Like, if you're gonna be smoking a lot, for example, sure, your skin is gonna be shit, but like you can't possibly see that. But my skin is actually pretty good. I actually take care of my skin. But I do have these under eyelids. I get it. I've been having those my entire life, sadly. Nothing I can do about it. That makes me look a little bit older. It does. I've even been considering doing some plastic surgery to remove them, but you know. Are you channeling your inner Van Gogh? Is Amsterdam inspiring artistically? It is. It is inspiring artistically. Yeah, I know. Thank you, Steve. I'm just saying, like, I think we as a society should place a little bit less value on things that are out of our control. Because if you think about it, a lot of the values that we place in our society are things that we're born with. Like the idea that, well, are you pretty or not? That's something we're born with. Are you tall or not? It's something we're born with. I don't even know if what else comes to mind, but I had at some point more examples like this. But if you really think about it, if you really inspect it, there were a lot, we as a society do place a lot of value on superficial things, and we shouldn't. we have a lot of really a lot of other more important things in this life, in this world. I think we should be choosing partners not based on looks. I know that our instinct kind of tells us to look at looks, but I think we should be choosing partners based on, the qualities that they have, how much work they're working on themselves, how much work they're putting in to be a better person, how much work they're putting in into taking responsibilities for their own happiness, into their own maturity. I think these are things we should value more in people. And I think we don't speak enough about this kind of stuff, and we don't value enough these things. So yeah, I know. See, even when I'm not speaking about animals, I'm still preaching for some reason. I can't help it, man. I can't. I just feel like life is only worth living to me if I try to make the world better. It feels otherwise it feels kind of weird to just. I mean, I enjoy life. There's things I enjoy about, like there's moments of my life that I enjoy doing things. But I think like the purpose of life itself, if I was to give a purpose to life, it would be this: just make the world a little bit better than you had it when you came through, right? And if you always think about it that way, if everybody would approach it this way, I think we would have a little bit of a better world. But then again, I do think a lot of people do think that they're making a world a little bit of a better place. They do think that they're doing good in their own way. So that's a complicated thing for me to actually find a solution to. Because, yeah, I guess we should just be. That's why a lot of the times I think about honesty and I come back to honesty. Uh, Erwin says, I'm 42 in 4 days and vegan since 2018. Hell yeah, Erwin, that's amazing. What's your opinion on vegans comfortable dating non-vegans? Asks Moonrise Studios. I don't have an opinion on that, to be honest. If you're okay with it, be okay. Okay, it's fine. I'm not gonna judge anybody who's doing that. I personally couldn't do it, but it's not for a form of judgment or something. It's just that, as you see, I go out there and I speak to people and try to get them to not be vegan. It would be extremely frustrating for me to get home and have to do the same thing to the person I'm there with, right? It would be like a little bit too much, yeah. I can't do it, but if somebody can, I think it's good. Why not? I think we definitely show people that, um, you know, you can be vegan and it's easy by being with somebody. Chip, keeping it real on the river. Yeah, unfortunately, my battery is kind of gonna go away because it's no longer connected to the battery. So my phone's battery is gonna run out soon. I don't know. I guess I have maybe like 5 more minutes. Uh, Vegan bodybuilders are so dedicated. It's cool. Yeah, exactly. And I think like that's the thing. I think we need to value more in people this idea that they're dedicated to what they're doing, that they're fighting for something, that they're working at something. And of course, it matters what they're working on, because if they're working on destroying the world, that wouldn't be good. But you know, like as long as their values are in the right place, as long as you share the same values with that individual, I think you should be choosing an individual also based on these qualities, how much they're working on themselves. But the values do matter. I think more than anything, you should have equal values to the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. When was the last crazy meeting you had with someone you debated on the street? What happened? Asks Julia. The last crazy thing. I always forget these things, Julia, because I don't put a lot of importance in them. I think the craziest thing that happened was this one guy who came to me. I had the sign that says, animal abuse should be legal. Changed my mind. It's kind of like a reverse psychology thing. And this one guy came to me and literally with the punch and stopped at my face and is like, how would you like it if I did that to you? And I think it was live also. So yeah, that was a little bit scary. I don't know how to swim. I know how to swim, but I'm not going to swim right now because I have a bit of flu and the water's probably cold. But maybe during summer, if we're doing these sessions where we're trying to be, hey, chill and talk to each other, maybe during those sessions, maybe we'll swim a little bit together, something like that. Chip, your channel family is terrific. So many awesome people here, says Lewis. I agree, Lewis. I think that's one of the things that I really appreciate about our community here. You know, I know I'm the person who's front facing and everything, but I'm not the main character here, everybody. I'm not. This isn't about me. This is about our shared common values. I'm just a person here because it's my channel, that's it. But we all share the same values. All of us are extremely important in this movement, and all of us are doing our best in all of this. I just want to be clear that this isn't, okay? It's all of us are here together, okay? Giving you a hug. Eat some grass, I'll have my steaks, says Paul. Paul, I just had an amazing, if you scroll back a little bit, you'll see my amazing plant-based meat. You don't really need it. You don't really need to exploit any innocent animal for that. I'm definitely gonna tune in more if you keep this up. Thank you for a great live. Okay, well, I see people really like this kind of stuff. Okay, well, we'll be doing this more often. I have 11% battery, so I think this will be it, everybody. Thank you for being here. Yeah, indeed, we kept it a little bit differently today. We kept it a little bit real. And I know it's true. I know it's very important that we also build community more and more. In fact, you know, at the meeting we had with We the Free, I thought one of the very important things is that you can do, if you ever want to do some form of activism or something, everybody, 10% by the way, so I really have to go because I know below 10% it goes away fast, but I'll just say this and then we'll go. If you ever want to do some form of activism within your city and you're not comfortable being confrontational to people, because obviously doing outreach is a little bit confrontational, then you should also consider just organizing meetups so other vegans meet other vegans together, so that you meet each other, so that you spend some time together. It really brings value to everybody. I enjoy your usual streams, but also appreciate this change of pace. Thanks, Chip. You're doing great work, says Felix. Thank you, Felix. Yeah, this is. I know it's not for everybody. That's why I don't always do this. I eat a lot of bamboo. Great grass for eating. Interesting. Never eat it by myself. Okay, everybody, that's it. I see my battery is now at 8%. As I said, it's gonna go down fast. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I'm gonna walk back to my bike. I think you have seen kind of what my walk is gonna be like. It is pretty, indeed. The weather is pretty good, and then I'm gonna be biking home. Thank you so much for being here, and if you enjoy these kind of hangouts, maybe we'll hang out in a park or somewhere where we'll see a couple of wild animals. I saw some nice buffaloes. There's a park where they have some nice buffaloes. Maybe I'll grab a friend and we'll go there together. We have some good conversations and just enjoy ourselves a little bit, right? And then maybe I can do it in a way where I can invite you guys and we can have conversations. Well, I invite you, right? That would be cool. Maybe using StreamYard or something. Yeah, I wanna do a little bit of community building also. It would be cool. Why not? We do a lot of outreach, and from time to time, it's good to also do a bit of community building together. Kevin says, I love meat and won't change, but I may do a day a week. I mean, Kevin, that's a start. That's a good start. Hey, you know what, Kevin? Just, I don't know if you watched that video. If you didn't, if you watched it already, watch the Minion maybe. I don't know. Just kind of think about it yourself, man. You wouldn't want to be in that position. That's it. I'm just trying to be nice and honest, but like obviously, when I'm gonna say something you don't like, it's not gonna, But yeah, thank you. Hope you feel better. Thank you. I hope everybody you have subscribed to this. We're gonna be building some more communities. We're gonna be doing stuff like this more often, and yeah, I'm gonna find a way to make it work. Love you, Chip. Sam from Texas. Love your activism. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. And before my phone dies, I will say goodbye. Go vegan. No more and needless exploitation. And if you're not vegan, well, sorry, if you're not vegan, go vegan. And if you are vegan, consider doing one form of activism. Consider maybe organizing some form of get-together with other vegans in your area. If you're a vegan and you're feeling alone in your area, there might be other vegans in your area who are also feeling alone. So maybe see if you can reach out, put it on Meetup or somewhere. 3%. When will I be back? I hope tomorrow. I'm not going anymore to Berlin because I am sick. So I hope tomorrow, and if not, definitely Sunday. Okay. See you, everybody. I appreciate you, and I love you, and thank you for being here. I will see you in the next one. Okay. Bye, everyone.